Okay. Let's share, copy link. Bear with me for a second if nobody's hopped in yet, but anybody rewatching this, feel free to skip forward a little bit. Just letting the masses know. Let's see, hop over to V1. Okay. 3 people already, what's up? Good evening, Happy New Year's. And actually, I was doing something the other day here with OBS, so I make sure all my volumes are good. We got mic on, we got 2024 on. Sick. Okay, we should be good. Let's see. We'll do some free flighty things to warm up. And to just do something, you know. Let's actually come over here to the starting place for all the helicopter things here in the sim. We got cloud-based gaming running at its absolute best here. Jacob. Glad to see you make it. We're here enjoying the joys of cloud-based gaming. Because apparently we can't be trusted to download and own our own games now. So here we are. Let's see. Trying to figure out which one of these is the... Yeah, this is the starting airport. Let's use the laser pointer. Let's pop that off live. Because we want people to be able to see, don't we? Yeah, somewhere here. That works. Sick. And that's the helicopter everybody trains with, so that's what we'll do to start doing that. We are flying in Grenoble. It's the Italian version of Chernobyl, and that's made up. No, I cannot see the chat in my headset. I've got to turn over here and look to my right. So I run the stream on my phone. But basically, this game already has so many damn issues right now. I don't want to have to risk an add-on to be able to read anything or anything else that's not standard. So I just run it on my phone. Makes it slightly easier. Okay, so I'll go and go over this full startup procedure for anybody who's watching this that doesn't get on later or doesn't watch later, because this does say Flight School Live. So let's hop out again real quick. So this is where you start your helicopter training when you go through the process of the licensing or whatever for the 2024 game. So your pre-flight's pretty simple. You just have to take off your rotor tip socks and you have your static port pitot tube there. And you can pop in here and check the oil under here, although it's not a necessary thing for flight. And you can check the landing gear too, but again, not a necessary thing for flight. So they'll tell you to kind of look at everything beforehand and tell you to look at the main rotor, and then they'll tell you also to, they'll tell you to look back here at the tail rotor, blah, 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 blah. But a lot of people are having issues with the initial part of, let me recenter, with the initial part of the flight training. The big thing for anybody who's wondering about the getting past the initial part, it says start the helicopter, and then he kind of talks about some stuff. I don't think they want you to start it all the way, so make sure you're starting cold and dark. You'll have your fuel switched on, battery master, and the starter switch is down on the front of this. I've got one kind of programmed into one of my buttons on my cyclic here. You'll need fuel pump on, but you should be able to start. Let's see. Is my throttle everything good? Yeah, basically they want you to just half start whatever is. Also, it's been such a long time since. Oh yeah, magneto and your whatever switch up here, fuel valve forward. That was what I was missing. Used to other helicopters. So they just want you to start. They don't want the blade spinning, as far as I know. But if you just get to the point where it's running and everything's up on all your displays and your avionics are working, then that's what you can do to help get past that first learning mission for the helicopter. They just don't want you to be in a take-offable configuration. So to work past that, you've got rotor brake here, so your fuel valve's on, magneto, and the plasma ignition, fuel switch, master battery switch, pump. Usually in real life you'll have the strobe on just so anybody around you knows that you're about to start up a helicopter. And then your starter switch is down here, but like I said, I've got mine mapped somewhere else. At this point, carb heat, I put it on auto. I put that there in the middle. Alternator should go on as well. Alternator doesn't affect anything, but at least your battery will be charging. You're not going to kill the battery. And my landing lights I've actually got on my stick here. Now for actual flying, you will flip the clutch on, and that will slowly get the blades going. And what you see here is the blades are going, if you're looking top down. Okay, here's one thing I think is a glitch. So what I'll do here, yeah, gotta do a full restart here. Nope, there we go. So the main rotor blades spinning counterclockwise. Also, that glitch is a thing where which is really probably not a glitch, but the when you turn on the clutch, it'll bog down the engine enough to where the engine will stall. So you have to do a little bit of gas to MSFS. What's up, Airbus fan? Glad to see you back. So yeah, you'll have to do a little bit of throttle here. Once again, I have mine mapped to my collective on my peripherals. But your main rotor, if you're watching the startup, if you're looking top down, it's going clockwise. That means the forces that it's putting on this helicopter itself makes the helicopter want to spin the other direction. That's why you have your anti-torque pedals, which are down here on the floor. So you can imagine right now, the rotor blade is just spinning. It's not producing any sort of lift. What this collective here does is, whenever you pick up on it, let me see if I can stick my head out. You can't see that it's moving too much. Whenever I pull up on this, right now the blades are currently cutting through the air, as flat as can be, creating no lift at all. Whenever you start adding the collective down here by pulling up, it starts making the blades pitch. And now what that does is that actually creates lift as it's going around. But with that lift comes, also there's a governor switch on here, and that's that light, and that should bring this back down to a normal operating RPM. Although some peripherals like mine are kind of picky with the throttle position, whatever. So anyways, as you start adding your collective pitch in here, it's going to create more counter-rotating force on the entire body of the helicopter. You're going to make me get a flight. Good. Get it. Dude, female Elon. She's cool. I actually picked her, although she doesn't show up in the missions that I want her to be in, where I'm doing impressive flying like offshore, slinging weights and stuff like that. I'm trying to impress her, but she only shows up when I'm in like the cheaper, crappier helicopters here, but at least the view's nice. But, okay, so yeah, you're creating that counterclockwise force because your main rotor is spinning clockwise and also creating more resistance. Imagine holding like your power drill or your impact gun for working on something. When you pull the trigger, it does that. What our foot pedal doing is twisting it back the other way. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to slowly pick up off the ground. When you're going through this in the actual tutorial phase, he will, when I say he, the instructor, he will manage your cyclic, which is your center stick here, and he will manage your anti-torque pedals for you. And then the first thing that you do is you just pick up on the collective. And you can see I was leaning too far back there. But when you pick up on the collective, you can hover the helicopter. Of course, wind dependent and stuff like that. There's a little bit of drift right now, so I am fighting it a little bit to keep it in the same place. And also, like I said, to counteract that left-hand counterclockwise turning, you can see that my right pedal down there is a little bit more push forward than my left pedal. I'm going to set down real quick and even my pedals up and take off again. There we go, I've got my pedals completely even now. And I'm not even off the ground yet, I'm just picking up on the collective. And I'm rotating to the left. I'm not doing anything with my pedals, this is just the helicopter itself. I'm going to catch that. That's just the helicopter itself rotating, because when your rear tail rotor setup's in the neutral position, it's not creating any anti-torque. And that's only there to fight Phelan. So yeah, the rear's only there to really fight that. As far as general flight, the turning and everything is done with the pedals as well, and that's what that's there for. And now, let me see if I can do an outside view real quick to show you an angle. A little bit louder out here. Okay, so the helicopter is here like this, and you can see that the center of gravity is probably here, but our tail rotor center is further up. So what that does, whenever you pick up and you correct it with your pedals, it will actually Let me figure out a way to hold this. So we can say this right side of the point over here is the tail. Whenever you're doing the left or right with the tail, the center, actually I have another laser pointer here I can use. Can I pick it up? Okay. So we'll say this is your tail, this is the front, or yeah, here we go. This is the tail, this is the front. So when it's rotating like this in space, your center of rotation, or the center of mass or whatever, center of gravity, is here. So what that means is when the tail is pushing this way from way up here, it's actually rotating the helicopter on an axis like this. So instead of it just turning like that, it's actually rotating the entire thing. So that's where this comes in handy for your hovering. Let's see. So yeah, pretty much you always have to be on the pedals. There is an exception where the pedals aren't necessary, and I'll show you that here in a second. So yeah, you pick up off the ground. I'll get in a stable hover here. And what you're doing with the stick is the pedals are trying to put its force on there, so I'm using a little bit of stick to keep it from tilting too far one way or too far the other way. And then of course, whenever you input anything with your cyclic here, it affects your main rotor on top, which therefore affects your overall lift a bit too. So right now we can assume it's just, let's say I'm at a neutral lift where I'm creating 0% up, 0% down. Whenever I go this way, it's changing to where I have a little bit more lift on the left side and a bit less lift on the right. Blah, blah, blah. So then you have to change your collective, which means you're having less overall rotational torque on the helicopter, which means you have to adjust your pedal usage and everything else to go with it. It's a constant feedback loop, if you want to say that. Now, of course, you can get to a point to where you can kind of keep it completely still and keep it well hovered. But of course, any small little bits of wind, I don't think there's anything such as a perfect day outside to where there's absolutely no wind, but any sort of air movements and stuff will affect you. So yeah, you pretty much always have to use the pedals, which that's the hard part that a lot of people don't, or have a hard time picking up, because it's the constant feedback loop. So what I'll do, I'll show you. I'm a self-taught hoverer. I've watched a lot of videos online. I've watched a lot of really know how to do it in the game. It's always, I've just watched how people do it in real life. And actually, we'll just use the helipad over here. That sounds smart. Forget the taxiway though. So here is the way that I figured out. This is the way that I learned. Somebody else may learn slightly differently, but this is how I learned how to hover the helicopter. It took a good 10 hours to get to a point to where I felt good at it. Of course, I could do it after the first bit, but nothing was like perfect. Let's see. So there's a lot of feel involved, like shooting a longbow. Oh yeah. It's a lot of feel and a lot of knowing little things about phase lag and just how the rotor system functions. For me, that's a big help, because the sharpest angle, if you want to, let's say, pick up your left side to go right, you would think that the blade would be at its steepest angle over here to create the lift, but really the steepest angle, since this system goes this way, the steepest angle is back here behind us, then it kind of levels off up here, then comes back down up front. It's a really weird thing. It's called phase lag. There's another word for it, but I've always said phase lag. It looks like the stream just died, but we should still be good. It doesn't ever die off for real. So yeah, if that happens for you guys, when I'm monitoring my stream on my phone, sometimes it will die off, but just refresh the page. It's still there. We're not going anywhere until I say we're going somewhere. So yeah, here's the way to get started out. If you don't want to just do the hovering tutorial that they have that's kind of shit, here's the way that I figured it out. And it seemed to work pretty good for me. But if we look out here on the helicopter itself, we have something that you see on an airplane. This is a vertical stabilizer. Now you can imagine as you're moving through the air, the vertical stabilizer is keeping you pointed in the direction of flight. So pretty much as soon as you start getting forward movement, you're going to be able to operate without pedals. Now, I don't want to say without pedals, but you'll be able to do it without using a lot of pedal authority. Yeah, I think it might be Starlink or it might be the cloud-based gaming, who knows. Anyways, so you'll have to have a little bit of knowledge on how it works to get going. I would suggest turning the damage off so you're not going to crash your helicopter. But the way to move forward is, of course, pushing forward with your main stick. Try to keep your pedals slightly centered. This one, like I said, a little bit of right pedal is for the stock helicopter that comes in the game. And then what you're going to do is pick up on the collective. Also, there's the danger of over-torquing the engine. We don't care about that. We don't have damage turned on. I do, but for your purposes, you shouldn't. So don't push all the way forward because you'll end up just picking it up onto the glass like that. But you're going to want to be centered a little bit forward and just pick up on the collective as quick as you can and push forward. And then slowly start pulling back when you start moving forward. Don't care which angle you're going, which direction you're going, as long as you get moving to where you're above the ground. And then flying at that point, you really don't have to do much pedal work. It's just kind of a left-right thing. If you want to go down, you let the collective down. If you want to go up, you pull up on the collective. So I suggest getting off the ground as quick as you can, and then it's relatively easy flying. It's about as intuitive as you think it would be, to where you're left, right, forward, backwards, and that's what it is. Where you really need to start learning how to hover, though, is how I did it. I would come in. I may do something quickly and then slow down to start figuring out the minute things, because I'm pretty good at figuring stuff out. And that's just how my brain works. You may work completely different, but we'll do this as like an approach onto the runway here. So I'll flip around, and we'll just say that we've been doing our forward movement. And I'm doing pedal stuff right now, but you don't need to do that. For when you're just flying. So right now we're looking at our airspeed, which is that bottom right gauge. We're about 40 knots or so. And we're going to come down here to the ground. And I'm just slowly letting the collective down. And it's not a direct correlation where an inch up on the collective is not going to take you an inch on the ground. It's all relative to how much lift the helicopter needs. So yeah, we're coming in here to the runway. I'm going to center up my pedals real quick, and right now I'm not doing pedals, but it's still staying forward because we have the forward airspeed. So if I start pulling back on the cyclic, the center stick, you're going to see we're going to start turning left. So I'm not turning left, it's just me pulling backwards on my center one here was slowing me down to a point to where my rear stabilizer wasn't working. So now that we know that that happens, let's just go back this way and kind of do the same thing in the opposite direction. So here we're going forward. I got my pedals centered up. And as we're slowing down by pulling backwards on my center stick, I'm adding just a little bit of right pedal. And I'm not even going to worry about hovering. I'm just going to try to slowly set it down and face one direction. Because you're slowly going to lose the authority of your vertical stabilizer as your airspeed decreases. So you're able to slowly go from centered pedals to the more right pedal that you need. And that's really it as far as how to learn. And then it becomes, let's come down here and slow down again. Let's do a little bit more airspeed so we can be a little bit more aggressive with our slowdown. So more aggressive slowdown, I'm kind of lowering the collective and then pulling back at the same time and getting down to what I see is like a more of a hover taxi speed. It's coming down now. Instead of touching down, I'm going to pull up on the collective a little bit and try to keep myself off the ground. Now they do have assists in the game to where it helps you, or it assists with your cyclic and your pedals and everything. I don't use those because I feel like it's just a way to learn it the wrong way when it's not hard to do once you get the hang of it, but you do have to realize that in real life it takes people 20 hours to get comfortable at hovering. In the game here, it took me 10 to 15 hours to get really good, and then to get to a point to where I could say, like, okay, cool, like I can call this intersection here, like to be able to hover in one point and do a pedal turn and stay exactly over the same point that you started in. Like, that's a completely different, I don't say a different level, but it takes a lot more to get to that point. So yeah, getting started out helicopter, use the assist if you want to. I don't know how much they do, or how much they intervene, what their parameters for intervening are. I'd say a little bit of forward on your stick, pull up on the collective until you can get moving, fight with whatever little bit of pedal you can, and get moving. Because once you have your forward airspeed, you're just flying with a stick in the middle, just like Battlefield or something else. Then once you start getting good at coming down into a hover, you can start figuring out other things that can go wrong. Another big thing is learning from mistakes, obviously. That's really the only way to move forward. When I was riding motorcycles, I would watch videos of people crashing motorcycles, because how else are you supposed to learn what not to do? It's really easy to bench race, and it doesn't cost you a whole bunch of money. So getting down to these speeds, to where it's a good hover, taxi, walking pace, we can turn ourselves 90 degrees to one side and keep this pace going. And now this isn't the smart thing to do. It's very rarely that you shuffle yourself, because if you were to lose main engine, and you can still land safely without when you lose the engine, but the issue is if you were to land like this, it could tip you over to one side if your skids were to catch, and that's called a dynamic rollover. Yeah, once it's a game of going fast and then slowing down until you get to a pace to where you can start managing it. It's bleeding off the forward airspeed a little bit by little bit each time. Because starting from nothing, of course it would be nice to have a real instructor sitting next to you to where they can handle your cyclic or handle your collective for you. But in my opinion, it's a lot easier, as most people who are watching this, or who are probably getting into helicopter flying now in real life, they've all played a video game before, so they all understand how a joystick works. And more or less, for as long as I've known, forward on a joystick is going down, and backward on the joystick is going up. Left is left, right is right. Works pretty much like an airplane. So as long as you have your forward movement off the rip, you can fly it like an airplane. And then it's just a matter of slowing down and slowing down and slowing down. So yeah, let's touch on some other things that they mention. One of them is what you call a confined area landing, and that's just where you have a steeper approach than normal. They give you a giant field for your confined area landing. We'll do it in something smaller, but before that, let's actually touch on a little bit of the physics of it. So, the helicopter blades, I don't know if any of y'all have paid attention to what the gauges are, but they are always spinning at the same speed. Right here, we're at the 530 RPM mark. Of course, we can go down a little bit, up a little bit more, but 530, of course, these higher numbers that are in there, that's for the engine RPM. But the rotors are always spinning the same speed. Let's see other comments. Do you know how to auto-rotate? Yes, I do. We'll go over that. We'll do that here in a second. Let me finish this topic real quick. And I don't think I've ever auto-rotated this particular model of a helicopter. So yeah, the blades have to spin 530 RPM. And now you can say, okay, cool, a helicopter can pick up vertically and take off out of anywhere. Here in this area, I think we have pretty cold air right now. I know there's a thermometer in here somewhere, but I'm not going to look for it. But most people say, like, okay, cool, you can land as long as there's an area to fit the helicopter. You can just take vertically off of it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to attempt to take off vertically over this building. And now in real life we would have to worry about torquing the engine too much. So I'm actually going to follow the torque guidelines on here and see what we can do. The colder, denser air, we might have a little bit more power, so let's see what we can pull it off here. Get our hover, and in our hover we are already using 65%, 60 to 65% of our available power. And we're in ground effect down there on the ground. So right here, the initial gain of altitude, I put in that 70% of power, but now we're not getting any higher than that with that application of power because we're out of the immediate ground effect of the ground. So now I'm going to keep on pulling up on the collective. And you see we're up at about 80% there, 75, 80%. Which while this does it, you can imagine with 2 full-grown people, if she didn't weigh more than 135 pounds, and I don't even know what our weights are set in the helicopter currently, it becomes an issue because you're going to over-torque the engine trying to do that. What your helicopter does have is a thing called effective transitional lift, and that just means when you're moving forward, the rotor system acts as a blade, or as like a wing. It's like a big circular wing moving through the air. Right now, the blades aren't keeping me afloat. It's the actual forward movement keeping me afloat. The blades are just kind of there. But yeah, let's see if we can do an auto rotation real quick. The way I'll do it, I'll actually send it for real. I will turn off the... I'll do governor and throttle off so we can pick back up again immediately. I was going to do turn the fuel system off, but I feel like we want to fly and yap a little bit more. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and line up with the runway, so we're not trying to do a 180 auto or anything like that. We just have to worry about getting her on the ground. I'll build my forward airspeed up. I want to be about 60 knots or so. That's normal traveling speed. Oh, there's even a grass runway next to it. I didn't even notice that. Okay, so what I'm doing now, I'm flicking off my governor switch, so the blue light will come on the dash, and I'm throttling off all the way. So now what I'm doing, I'm down on my collective pretty far. Or when I say pretty far, I mean all the way. And I'm watching my rotor speed here in the middle. I'm still holding 480 or so, 490 RPM on the rotor speed. And then we get down here near the ground, going to flare. I'm going to pull back on the rotor a little bit. And we were doing this called a running landing. And that's what you'll typically see with helicopters when they're doing it. Very rarely do they set it down in one spot unless you have a lot more, what do you want to call it? A lot more inertia with the blade system to where you can maintain that speed, but this is an extremely light blade system, so it's not very good at holding its RPM. But yeah, that's an auto rotation. So basically, you can imagine right now when we're trying to fly normally, the air is going straight down, being pushed down, but when we're falling, the air is going up through. When our collective is all the way down, that's air's moving up through, but it's also enough air to spin the rotor blades up to a usable speed. See, what was I saying? Oh yeah, confined area landings. So yeah, if your helicopter's overweight, you can't do the pickup straight over the building like we did. You need some sort of forward air movement to give you that effective transitional lift. That's a big thing. So, let's see. So in a confined area landing, the by-the-book way to do it, which I even yapped about this a pretty good bit back in Microsoft 2020, after Hurricane Helene hit North Carolina and everybody was thinking the Black Hawks were trying to sabotage whatever was going on, but the textbook way to do it, let's use this little snowy field that's right here. It looks like a close, confined enough area. So what you do a high pass. Why is my dot right there? You'll do a high pass circle, and this is initially looking out for any power lines or any big picture issues, figure out your approach path, figure out where the winds are coming from. And then you'll spiral down a little bit, and you'll hit yourself a low approach path, or a low recon pass, sorry. Once again, checking for power lines, looking for all the other stuff, but also looking for debris on the ground, stumps, rocks, any geography that you weren't quite sure about. And now what I can tell you is the wind's coming from that direction there, because I looked at the windsock when we were over at the airport. So my approach will be coming in here from the railroad track direction. And then in confined area, you need to get to a point where you're over any obstacles. We'll pretend there's trees where the railroad tracks are. So now we're allowed to come down over, but we also want to keep our descent speed at less than 300 feet per minute, especially when we're going this slow. When you start getting below 300 feet per minute descent, you're flying into your own rotor wash, and that creates a vortex ring state or settling of power. This is my descent speed right here. So I'm watching that. Of course, the 10 is 1,000 feet per minute. The half mark between there is 500. And right now I'm only doing like 150 to 200. I don't want to push it because we're not in a hurry. They're already getting a helicopter ride. They can get over it if we take a couple of seconds to get on the ground. Of course, you can come down much quicker than that, but that just depends on what your approach path is and if you have enough forward airspeed to where you're flying yourself out of that vortex ring state. And then we get near the ground, we hover for just a second, and down and good. Oh yeah, dude, helicopters are so much safer than fixed wings. Fixed wings, you need a runway for your emergency landing. We were doing H-125 flying the other day here, and I was able to put it down in a yard about this size from traveling 100-something knots in the air to landing safely in a yard. Yeah, helicopters are the way to go. They're all under such strict maintenance and whatever standards anyways, to where like you can drive around a car with leaky oil for a long time, you know. You can drive around on bald tires. You can have your radio doesn't work. Let's see, how fast can that puppy go? Let's see. I actually don't care for this helicopter as far as speed, but we'll see what we can do speed-wise. Let's get out of here, confined area. And what we'll do a real confined area leaving. I could get over the railroad tracks and use that as like a little run-up runway, but I'm going to do this like a... See, actually the wind was coming from that direction, so I'll reset over here way faster than what people would usually do it. So your best option is always taking off in the wind. That way it gives you that little bit of headwind for your transitional lift. And you want to pull as much power as you can and get as much forward airspeed as you can to clear your obstacles. And that right there, we were only using around 69 to 74% torque on that. So we weren't taxing the engine as much as just picking straight up. We had that that forward airspeed helping us lift. So we weren't just trying to hover out of pure anger and 175 horsepower worth of French, like, tic-tac helicopter. Okay, I'm gonna forget my torque figures. I'm just going to pull up on the collective and push forward right now, which we're going to gain speed. Or we're gaining a little bit of speed, but we're taking altitude. But I'll take the altitude because we're not going to hit top speed in this thing unless we're actually using Earth's acceleration to help out with that. Also, we're going to turn and fly into the wind when we're doing it. But you can see there, I don't have the horn on right now, but me pulling all the way up on the collective and demanding so much torque from it has killed my rotor speed. Right now, we are way below what good rotor speed is. So here's a good recovery. You see that happening, you put down on the collective and you pull back on your cyclic, and that makes a whole bunch of air rush over, or not rush over, but rush through your blade system. And you can pick back up the rotor speed intended for use. Even though the governor said, and it should do everything it can to maintain that rotor speed, the engine just doesn't have enough power. This sim does have Chinooks, which I theoretically know how they work. I've flown it once or twice in here just because I wanted to see what it was like. But they more or less operate or fly the same as the other helicopters. Same thing, left pedal or right pedal, whatever, except when hovering you don't have to do any sort of counteracting of anything, because there is no, the front rotor counteracts the rear rotor or vice versa. So there's nothing that you have to change or anti-torque. And you can see right here, I mean, I'm pushing forward anymore. That's, I'm going to watch my, I want to gain altitude at like 500 feet per minute. Because I want to try to get up to this ridge area and dive the ridge. But this is a slow helicopter, guys. Like, I'm demanding a lot of power from it. And it's just, this is a trainer through and through. This is not something that's meant to be a race helicopter. And like, honestly, right now at this point, we're not going to make that ridge unless I do a long approach that way. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn into our headwind, which will slow us down ground speed wise, but it's going to probably help us out a little bit airspeed wise. We're going to get over the airport. We're going to do an extremely fast approach to it. See what sort of speeds we can get. And then we'll pop over to a different helicopter. I'll let you guys pick and decide what's going on with that. Yeah, Chinooks, they're quick. Military helicopters in themselves are quick, although there is a limit to what a helicopter can do. And that's a thing called retreating edge blade stall. Because right now, your blade, even though we have the transitional lift coming over it as we're moving forward, it's still making lift here as it's going the wrong way. It's still creating lift in itself going the wrong direction. Once we hit a certain speed, that blade's actually moving backwards through the air. So you lose all of your lift from your main rotor system on that side, or if it's in a other direction helicopter on the other side. And then it can flip you and turn you upside down and send you to the ground. So there is a universal speed limit just depending on what the blade speed of that helicopter is. Okay, cool. We got the runway down over there, kind of to our northeast-ish. What we're going to do, we're going to do an airspeed experiment. And we're still going to set it down safely. I'm all the way down on the collective right now. Now I'm going to pick back up on the collective. I'm pushing forward on the cyclic as much as I can. We're at 100 knots. We're at 120. We're at 130. We're at 140. Yeah, 140 seems to be where it's not going to go any faster than. But just under its own power, there's no way. I've been lucky to be able to get it over 100 once or twice. And that's just, this thing's not made to do that. Also, I want to show you guys something cool that you can do here in 2024. They added livestock and fauna and stuff like that to the game. So, depending on the animal, if you get close, they'll lay down. But a lot of these dudes, you can herd them. I want this dude over here to get closer. Nope, go to your friends, guy. Go to your friends. There you go. Nope, you go that direction. Whack. Yeah, you can herd animals in 2024. Cool thing. So yeah, let's go pick up another helicopter. We've got the A-Star H-125. We got the Chinook. We have the big-ass S-64 Sky Crane. Bell 407. Were there any other stock model helicopters? Also, that was a fucking approach to the pad right there. That was a sexy looking approach. The shadow looked really good on that. Okay, so what we'll do, we can start flipping all this shit off. We don't need it, we don't need it. We don't need it, don't need those. We'll leave the battery on, because sometimes on this thing you need the battery to operate the rotor brake, but blah, 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 blah. Cool, don't care. The aircraft is effectively shut down now. So, we're going to hop out of here. Actually, we don't want main menu, we just want to end the flight. I also have a couple of downloaded helicopters that we can mess with. We've got a handful of different ones. So I'll scroll through this real quick, let you guys see them. And if y'all want to make up a decision what y'all want to see, we can do that. Okay, we have the H-125, which as far as turbine stuff, the 206 and the H-125 are very popular. The H-125 is a bit more powerful, very nimble. I probably have the most flight hours on that in this particular sim. There is the Bell 407, which just decent, solid all-around helicopter. Airbus H-225, huge monster twin engine, big lift capabilities. Chinook, it's a Chinook. I don't need to say anything else. We have the 222 Bravo, that is the same as like the Airwolf TV show. 206, that's what you typically see for like a lot of smaller town police departments that don't have the money for something new. They get those donated from like old Army trainers. The 500E, that's like what Cletus McFarlane has. It's like the Ferrari of the skies, small and nimble. Just an H-125 I had bought in the previous sim, but it carried over to this. H-130, same thing as this, but it's wider, better set up for tours and stuff like that because it's got more helicopters. Sky Crane, just a big hunker. Huge twin engine made for lifting heavy stuff, an R66. I also do have an R22, but I don't have it in here right now because it was potentially messing with the stuff. You want to see something powerful. Let's see. Let's do something where we can still learn, because everything, like when we're looking at power numbers, these two are probably our least powerful. This is like a gas piston engine, like something that's in your car, but aviation spec, obviously. Like 150 horsepower. Now, this is a turbine. It's the top of the line from Robinson. But their turbines are only still relatively low power compared to everything else. I think the H-125s, they're about 800 horsepower or so, but they're a bit heavier. These are only like 600, but they're much lighter. Giant two-blade kind of sounds like a Huey. Did my Hueys make it over? No, my Hueys didn't make it over. So that's going to be our closest to Huey sounds. 500E. I like it. Let's do that. I don't think I've flown the 500E in this sim yet. I've done it in 2020 a handful of times, but I haven't done it in 2024 yet. We're not going to worry about configuring it because I don't want to risk killing the sim because it's still not perfect yet. Okay, now that we have that figured out, we have an entire planet on where we can fly. Every airport or every heliport that you can imagine, we have access to. What sort of location are y'all feeling? And we'll do the Chinook next. And now, Jacob, even though this isn't the most powerful, it's still very powerful in its own respect. It's not like a big drag car, huge V8 powerful, but it's like a stock Ferrari or stock Lamborghini powerful. It's still damn quick. It's just light and handles well. Alaska. Cool. I like it. We'll go up here and do some glaciering or something. I'm going to let it load this a little bit so we can see. Also, we have all the oil platforms out here that I can do missions on. Very cool. Anchorage International, yeah, sure. Hit the ramp here. Actually, I want to hit the ramp way down here on the end. So we just take off and we're not messing with any of the runway activities. Because I think they have 2 runways in Anchorage. One that kind of goes this direction and this one here. Yep. And now this may start me already running. Or it may start me cold and dark. That's kind of been a iffy thing with the downloaded models that aren't factory. Hey, we're starting from nothing, but we have a hovering generator next to us. Very cool. I love hovering generators. Hell yeah. I don't know if we can see Russia from here, but I have flown the islands out there before. And, man, I feel short right now. These things aren't that tall. Anyways, no pre-flight on this since it's a downloaded model. They didn't do that in 2020. Now this thing, its positioning's way off whenever it comes in for VR stuff. So let me get myself centered up. Okay, that seems about right. Except I need to be taller for sure. And maybe a little bit further back. We don't have anything up there. Got this all the way down. Now this key here does something, but I don't know. So we'll see if we can do it without the key first. Battery on. Let's put our starting fuel pump on. Anti-collision lights on so people know that we're about to do something. Get all those going. We're going to leave the generator off for the time being. Let's see what our gauges are looking. We got engine oil temperature, torque, turbine outlet temperature, N1. That's going to be an important one to watch for starting. Oil pressure, fuel quantity. There's no fuel pressure ones. Taxi lights, landing lights. Let's see, that's still in one. I like this better. I like the glass. Avionics on. Okay, there's a starter switch on this, but I'm going to press it on my thing. Watching my N1 here. Turbine outlet temperatures coming up. Shouldn't get too hot. Shouldn't. Okay, cool. Got right to where it should. That's going up. I'm slowly adding throttle. We can go and throw the generator on now. Anti-ice. We are in Alaska. Pitot heat for sure. We're not going to be testing or anything because this isn't a real helicopter, although in real life it would be nice to go through all the testing on everything. Let's see. Yes, you can do playing online. I actually hopped on somebody else's stream the other day. I just saw they were on. I was like, hey, can I come fly along with you? So I did that. I'm not sure if my time is there to where I can do online. We'll check that after this quick flight. Oh, we want that. Let's see. So we've got our rotor speed. We got everything here. Yeah, we can play online. Left, right seat. Typically, it's left seat. There are very few helicopters that are right seat. I don't know why. I don't know what the determining factor is. I wish I had more information on that. So let's go and get off the ground so we can yap while doing something cool. Hello, I forgot how nimble this helicopter was, although I wasn't happy with that pickup. Let's do that again. A lot of power, and we don't have much weight in here, so it's just going to pick up and go. So let's set down. Also, these are high skids too, so like a extra foot off the ground that we were in the Cabri. Okay, pick up slowly. There we go. Where the hell did you come from? You were not there a second ago. Big ass A380 over there though. Cool, so let's go in this direction. And let's turn off all of our little lollipop things. So yeah, the seat position, I think a lot of it has to do with utility as well. Oh, this puppy can go fast. We got our airspeed indicator right there. Point out some little lines to you. This line right here is 130. Our max is like 150 or something like that. I haven't read the manual for this helicopter, so I don't know what actual max is. But that 130 line right there is where you should not attempt an auto rotation if you're above that speed. But I really don't like listening to that line. And I also don't like listening to the torque either, because right now we're flying for fun. But man, it looks like the sun's almost already setting over there. I guess that's just far north climates. But yeah, I will say I've heard some people say that this helicopter is very good for utility work because of the left seat. And I know a lot of other tour stuff like the H-130 and whatever. Their left seat, I think the H-125, is it left or right? I think it's right seat. Anyways, it's nice because no matter what, you have this control here on your left side. Your cyclic is always on your left, or your collective is always on your left, and my collective is on my left over here. So you can imagine if I was sitting in this seat and I was giving a tour in this helicopter, this would give the passenger access to a very critical control of the helicopter itself. So it's nice to be able to put this collective way over here on the left and not have anybody worry about anything with it. Let's see, let's just go to the mountains over here. Quickest thing is a straight line. Let's lean forward and get into it. We'll try not to gain any sort of altitude while we're doing this. And we'll try to keep it at that. See, I was at 140 right there, and it gets really iffy at 140. You start getting some blade stall stuff. And we're almost at it's 150 knots right there already. So yeah, this is a very fast helicopter. It's much better, and then also your rate of climb and stuff is just, I don't want to say unreal, but it's just ridiculous how capable this particular helicopter is. Our rate of climb is well north of 1,500 feet per second. There's no round gauge like there was in the Cabri that we're in. This little arrow right there, that's our rate of climb. This is our altitude, this is our airspeed, so we're at 50 knots right now. But you can see that there's a 1 there, there's a 5 there, and it zeroes out kind of in the middle where the ticker is. We're going to build our airspeed back up. So we're 50, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. And that's all while still gaining altitude, accelerating like that. So yeah, this thing's, it's a little monster. It's very lightweight, very capable. Let's see other comments. Depending on geography. Oh yeah, it does do that. The weather's, I think I'm running live weather right now. We'll check after I get off of this. But I think I'm running, we weren't in Italy because it's nighttime in Italy, so I did turn the time back there, but there is live weather. I've done hurricane flying. If you look back at my live streams, I flew in Helene when it hit the shore. I was kind of flying around north of Tampa in the 222B because it looks the most like a Coast Guard helicopter. But I can also, the cool thing that I really appreciate in this is I can change the weather. Not so much that I want to play God, but the fact that I can say, okay, cool, if I want to learn how to hover in completely dead air, I can set it to completely dead air to learn my hovering in. Or if I want to put a 10 knots of wind coming from the east, but then every once in a while there's a 15 or 20 knot wind that comes from the southeast, so you think you're in the wind and then you get gusted one way or the other. It's nice to be able to set that up to where you can change that around. So yeah, with the wind, see, I'm already up at 150 again, and we're still maintaining more or less the same altitude. But yeah, flying over mountains and cresting stuff, you can feel the impact of the wind as you crest mountains, depending on which direction it's coming from, obviously. But you do that, you get thermals. They have gliders in the game that ride thermals. The entire atmosphere is simulated. Now, I don't know what that definition of simulated is, but they do have a lot of that taken care of, to where you do get a lot of those effects for the airline pilots. You get turbulence anywhere. Of course, the whole, like, helicopters fly on turbulence. That's what they are. They're just turbulence manufacturers. But yeah, flying over hills and crests and stuff like this, you get. See if we get a movement here. Not really. But yeah, depending on where you are, depending where the wind's coming from, if somebody wants to hop over on their weather app right now and tell me, or actually I could even do that. Or actually, I'm flying, I shouldn't be on my phone. But if somebody wants to tell me somewhere where it's raining or stormy or windy right now, just like the Chase controlling the weather. They can't keep getting away with it. Speaking of that, if y'all haven't seen Sam Hyde's video yet on X, it's amazing that somebody whose like entire existence is just kind of built around shit posting could put out like one of the more popular, like it got like 14 million views in the past day. One of the most popular politically oriented discussion videos or whatever for him to put that out. It's wild. Also, I think we can, hell yeah. There we go, we got some sound for you guys. Sounds a bit more like a helicopter and less like a vacuum cleaner. Take the doors off. Now, I'm not sure if this Cowan will auto-rotate, but we'll go over here and pick somewhere. Then we'll make sure we're doing live weather and find somewhere where we can fly around in a little bit of potentially bad weather spot, or I can just make the weather bad if y'all want to look for somewhere. The VR makes a difference, guys, because I've got my hand kind of on my collective mount right there. I'm looking over the edge. It's like, well, cool, if I fall out of here. Like, of course, I'll hit the ground in like 2 feet, but that's a hell of a feeling to be able to look out and give that full perspective of the altitude, especially with no door on the helicopter. You just dump somebody off right there. Let's see. I can shift C to get out of the helicopter, but I don't know if I can do that while we're in the air. Let's see. Nope, must be on ground to exit the aircraft. Darn. Well, they don't have any fun here, do they? How stupid is that? It's my airplane. I can jump out of when I want to. So let's see. We got some altitude. Let's slow down a little bit here. And what would be our killer for fuel? I believe that's a fuel valve. Yep. Cool. Using rotor RPM. Down on the collective. I'm looking at my rotor RPM kind of there in the center gauge. This is a good altitude or angle to hold it. We're going to land on one of these streets in the neighborhood down here. See if I get more rotor RPM that way. The best angle is this way. Yeah, so right now the engine's completely dead. I shut off the fuel to it. Oh, this road is crooked. Look at that road. Holy crap. That road was bumpy. Yeah, that's not a smooth road. If this road was smooth, that would have been a lot nicer. No gun runs in Mogadishu with these helicopters, although I do have a H-145 downloaded, which I can do guns with that, but I don't have that on Microsoft 2020. Sadly, though, the guns aren't visible or effective to anybody else in live. But you get to see it yourself, which is fun. But nobody messes with our Blackhawks. Okay, flight conditions. Let's see. Let's put this at live. Live. Cool, so we're all live there. That's one of my favorite little places to poke around is Hawaii, because it's just got good views. Let's see what sort of are we. These are all live airplanes for real. Hawaiian, Southwest, American. Let's see. If y'all have any better locations while I'm looking, feel free to yell at me. Damn, he's moving. Oh, also, for those of you who don't know, do not consider this me asking you for anything, but I'm going to do this just myself. So this is my alt account that I use to monitor stream. So I'm actually losing money doing this right now, but I'm very happy for this because I'm finally past the 500 sub mark, which means this account is now a partner with YouTube, so I can do super chat, stickers, whatever the hell stickers are, no idea, but I can do super chats now. So yeah, that's me losing 60 cents right there because YouTube gets 30% of that. But yeah, I'm not gonna ask for money ever. I don't care about your money, but I just think it's cool that me yapping about garages and also yapping about helicopters has got people watching me, which is pretty sick. Let's see, do we want to land on a helipad? No, let's do Fort Island. Stay off the main airport over there. Ramp says departure. Let's do the Chinook. And we'll see if we can set that up a little bit differently. Who's getting dinner? Nice. Welcome back. We flew around the 500. We did an auto rotation. Default configuration, so we don't want hosts to sit down. They can't get comfy. Billings is a cool livery, military. Yeah, we're in Hawaii. Let's do military. Let's see. Saving back. Any other locations, or we're going to fly out of Hawaii here? Or since let's take it off live. Let's do custom weather. Rain. Heavy precipitation. Sure. Or actually, let me, I want wind. That's a big thing. Wind, like 15 knots or something. Yeah. Gust per minute, 18. At 270. Let's do it out of the southeast. Cool. Here we go. Less than ideal conditions. So we're not going to be live with other people yet, but let's see. No scenic, no, sorry. Like, all the aircraft are... I mean, there's a lot of airplanes, and it wouldn't blow up the sim... Oop. Oop. Let's see if I can do my pre-flight without killing everybody here. Close your eyes if you don't like this. I might be able to hop in, and I think my only pre-flights are moving the chalks. Cape. Oh. Tire malfunction. Yeah, no shit. Oop. Yeah, let's restart this one. But yeah, a lot of the designations and stuff like that, they really don't go too deep into it. Like, I'd like to see a Black Hawk, but it's not there. But yeah, as far as the flight tracker stuff, like all the airplanes, it shows them, but it does lag some whenever you're near all the shit going on over there near Honolulu. Oh, there we go. Let's go. We are so back. Let's see. Which I don't mind the pre-flight stuff. I don't. Okay, now I can start this up the legitimate way, which I do not know how to. There's a lot of things to do, but what I'm going to do is press... Actually, I'm going to give you all the options, so I can start this up the legitimate way. Or can I even checklist here? If I can checklist, I may do the legitimate way. No, for some reason those stupid things don't work. So I'm just going to Control E to get it all going. There should be Control E. Did that not work? Let's see. Is it not going to do anything for me? Cool, we'll start on a runway. Because for some reason the tablet stuff doesn't want to work. I do not know the startup procedures, the APUs and stuff, and those things can be picky. So we're just going to start already running. No, that was a flashback from middle school, bud. That's when I learned my lesson. Sean, what up? Good to see you, bud. Happy New Year to you and Boleyn. Yeah, we're still struggling here to load in. But this Chinook's a very demanding aircraft as far as graphics and getting everything going. So let's sit here and wait a second while we get better looking ground. There we go. Gauges should be coming in any second now. Let's see. Yeah. Everything blurry. Just like middle school shroom trips. Oh, I got a tablet right here, some bitch. Could I have checklisted? Yeah, probably could have checklisted here. Aircraft checklist, yep. Okay, never mind. Maybe next time. We'll do that. Y'all will have to come back and watch me again, God forbid. Up gauges are starting to come in now. They're a bit more clear. Still can't read any of my things up there. But what I can tell you is that I have 2 FADEC-controlled engines here, and a whole hell of... Oh, there we go. So we have stop, we have ground, and we have flight. So instead of it being like a throttle percentage where we get 10, 20, 30, 40%, whatever, it's actually you're either at ground or you're in full rip. So let's get this back to our map. Not that we need it. But it's cool to have. That's still in Italy. We are just past December, so what I'm going to do here actually is my parking brake on. Let's see. Okay, so that's parking brake off. And we can just pick straight up. I'm even going to give y'all a little treat here. A little bit of an outside view. Actually, but does it sound better if we do it this way? I don't know. Does it sound better? But yeah, the cool thing is I don't have to worry about counteracting torque or anything, so to an extent this feels like it's easier to fly, other than the fact that it's just a giant bus. Of course, you even up your body, you're going to be moving forward. Let's see. And as has been asked before, how fast does this puppy go? We're going to find out. Let's see. Yeah, Lady Elon is here again. Fly an Osprey. You mean crash an Osprey? I don't even know what they have it in the game. I do know that they have a... Also, wish they'd fix the water here, or fix the texture under the water. It looks like crap. Since we're in a Chinook, let's do a little tour of everything going on here. We have the USS Missouri, I believe. Battleship, big old guns. It is cool that they do extra photogrammetry for some things and different places, because they could just AI generally, or like generically, procedurally generate everything, but there's a lot of unique places that I can guess people would want to fly. You know, like I come and fly in Hawaii a good bit. One, because it's beautiful, it's an island, a lot of mountains, near sea level, going up to a decent bit above sea level, so like there's a lot of stuff that I have to work on as learning to fly. That's the memorial right there for the Arizona. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm like training on out here. One, busy airport, a lot of good taxiing practice areas, and but it's neat because I assume a lot of people want to fly out here just for the views or for sightseeing. A lot of people do that. But it's neat that they put in the extra stuff for the sightseeing. Just like, let's go to this hospital over here. I know that it's very well rendered in. There's Honolulu International. Wait, did I set this thing to rain? I could have swore I set this to rain. I don't know. The Tripler Army Hospital. Yeah, we left Alaska. It was too cold. I'm not exactly a cold person. Like, even if I was running from the feds, and they say, cool, he's going to hide the last place that we would expect, that would be Alaska, because I hate the cold. But I hate the cold just enough I would rather risk getting caught in, like, Belize or somewhere, you know. Like, it's just not worth it to me to be cold. Like, humans can exist perfectly fine, naked, as God intended, in the tropics. We cannot do that. You know, we have to do other stuff. We cannot just exist naturally somewhere. Chinook on the roof of the hospital, let's go. What I'll actually try to do. Can I see out the back? No. I don't even know if there's a back door switch here. I don't even know where their helipad is. But I'll see if I can do the back wheel on the, drop 40% off people in the trauma. I'm not even taking them to the hospital, homie. Let's see. Is there a place here where I could do a roof drop? I don't even know where their helipad would be. could imagine flying around a fucking blue whale as an aircraft. And it's not even an aircraft with wings where it wants to fly. It's just this thing. Well, they have solar here. Fuck their solar. And blow all that shit over. These Chinooks can give you like 70-mile-an-hour winds even when you're like 100 foot off the ground. So we're gonna let them know what we think of solar. I want this to be a coal-powered hospital. Okay, so let's see. Let's find a roof that doesn't have like a bad. Yeah, we'll come around and hit this roof there. So I'll swap my angle around. Hit that one. We'll do an approach from this side over here. Also, I know a lot of the guys in here are tactically minded. Cool thing is, with this helicopter, these right here are night vision filters. That way your warning lights and stuff, hello. Gotta pay attention to what I'm doing instead of pointing out shit. Those filters right there over the warning lights are for night vision, so you're not blinding yourself with night vision. Okay, let's get ourselves in a hover here. Put this on camera 2. Oh, I want to be back here. I hate flying third person. Absolutely despise it. But I'm going to try it for you guys. So there I'm overcorrecting because I can't see what I'm doing in the front. So yeah, we're going to go back to this and possibly crash. Nope. Sick. We're just going to land normally. Because the cool thing is, if you have a crew chief or somebody flying along with you, it's not just a useless sack of skin like this co-pilot I have here. You can actually say like, okay, cool, go forward 5 feet, go back 5 feet. And you can land. In the unique places, or do stuff like the back wheel touchdown. Whoop. Why are you giving me problems all of a sudden? I just turned the parking brake on, you son of a bitch. Oh, the ground effect from it. Okay, yeah. So we're fighting the ground effect bug here. That's going to make that damn near impossible. Okay, so there's an issue here. That's just an overall issue with this particular flight sim at the moment. And it's called the ground effect bug. If you were here earlier, you know about ground effect, how I was saying it's easier to hover when you're close to the ground, or it's easier for your helicopter to hover when you're close to the ground. Because of the ground effect, effectively, you're floating on a cushion of air being created. Happens with airplanes too. You float and glide a lot nicer when you're near the ground. But whenever you get over a elevated platform, of course the ground effect is up in the air. Now this game has a bad, let's see, a lot of comments here. Lapping coal baby. You think they're ready to... Oh yeah, exactly. That's what they do. Like, they didn't even bomb. They just fly over shit with Chinooks and blow it over. But yeah, so typically over stuff like up here, the ground effect would become apparent gradually, because it's not an on or off switch for your aircraft. As you slowly move over the place that you're trying to land, you'll slowly pick up the ground effect from that area. Now it's not super apparent in this because I don't have tail rotor things, but it is bouncing it a good bit when I get over it. See right there, it's picking up on me, and I'm actually going down the collective when it's doing that. That bounce right there, that's all the ground effect, bud. That's not... Yeah. But yeah, the way this game is programmed, whenever you get over an elevated platform to land, the ground effect kicks in 100% immediately. There's no progressive ground effect.
getting introduced into the aerodynamic model for the helicopter, it just immediately kicks in. Don't know how they let that get through. You would think that they would, you know, test their simulator beforehand, but who knows? You know, maybe they just completely forgot to do any sort of testing or bug checking, because it took me a day to learn that there is a ground effect bug, if not less. Just from trying to do different things that you can do in helicopters, like, you know, land on elevated platforms. Hey, we're working on this, see how fast this thing can go. Right now we're going 154 knots. I don't know the translation to mile per hour, but I'm assuming it's around 180 to 200. Get as much momentum as we can. I'm going to level out forward to aerodynamically help us. Got to 170 there. So yeah, how fast does this puppy go? About 170 knots if you're really trying. It looks like it can cruise pretty happily around 145. Hold on, everybody. And that's your tour of the Hawaiian state capital right there. Boy, I feel like we're trying to get people out of Saigon or something. Everybody at the embassy, get in the Chinook now. We gotta use this in like 30 years when we're getting out of Iraq. Boy, your airplane wished that you could do that. Very cool. 170 knots, 195 miles per hour. Whew. Hell yeah. We are toasting it, guys. Okay, somebody give me a new location to go. When I see something good pop up, we'll find a place to land. I'm just going to head to the mountains until something neat comes up or an activity to do. I could always pop over to career mode for a second, do like a heavy lift or something like that. Show you all that system. Give me L activity. Oh, look at this. Cloud-based gaming really does wonders on the ground textures, doesn't it? Pakistan. .3 AM in Pakistan. I think I have those coordinates for the thing that you're mentioning saved in my Google Maps. I want to say I've done that mission before in Flight Sim 2020. I'm pretty sure that I have. Let's see, let's go set down up here on the peak somewhere. Let's find somewhere to land and settle up with a view. Imagine living in a third world country like Canada, and one American Chinook flies over you, just how cool that would be. But also, Pakistan does have some gnarly mountains. Afghanistan too. Everything out there that's kind of like on the far western side of the Himalayas. They have some pretty damn cool geography out there. Everybody calls it, oh, you're going to the desert. The desert was the Persian Gulf. Everything else was kind of a big mix of mountain ranges and everything else. Can I make it without running out of fuel? I've got an add fuel button, so yeah. But if I were to do it legitimately, definitely not. Let's find somewhere elevated where we can, in this particular spot with a view. Let's see. Too tilted. Looks like a little field down here. Give these people next to the road a little show. down on the collective, let the butt slide around, kind of like dragging the rear tire of your bicycle. And let's come on down. Now I'm going to face the road. Goal of mine, I don't want to have a Chinook one day. I think it'd be way too much money unless I have a helicopter business of some sort where we're doing utility work or firefighting. But I would like to have the ability to have a Chinook land on my property if I wanted it to. That would be the goal. Nice little crooked area to land here. I had no idea Hawaii was blue. If there's any Hawaii people here, please confirm. Oh. Can't see what I'm doing. Can't see what I'm doing. Actually popped out of VR mode. Okay, cool. We made it. Sorry for that. I'm now sitting in the roof. Sick. God, so many bad stuff. Let's see. Let's go somewhere. Gotta get Rob O'Neill home safely. Let's see. In flight. Actually, let's go do a career bit thing. Welcome to Loading Time Simulator 2024. Nine people. What's up, guys? Welcome, welcome to those of you who haven't been the current active people in here. There is a night vision mod that was available in 2020, or an add-on that you could have gotten. I didn't get it there because I wasn't sure how it would affect with other add-ons that I had, but I may look into it again here for 2024 once I see some other people talking about it and figuring it out. Let's see. Want to do oil field stuff. I'm going to take it off live time because I want people to see. Let's do one that will earn us a little bit of money too. Okay, back in Loading Time Simulator. Oh. Means the screen is moving. Let me put my mouse in the same place to make sure we're not just stuck. Okay, that little cloud is moving. It's a plus. Watch it compared to that cloud. But yeah, I would like to do night vision stuff. I think that'd be super sick. One aircraft available. No shit. Let's see. 4 stars, so it's probably a 2,205 pound thing. Oh, I can't see briefing? I can see EFB. I'll just wait for the mission thing to pop up. Like I said, Loading Time Simulator 2024, guys. And now, this would be 2,205, yep. And now this would be much better suited. The H-125 that I'm going to use is more than capable of doing it. It's just a smaller helicopter for that amount of weight. The Chinook would be nice, but also your hook point is a good 25 to 30 feet behind you from where you sit as a pilot. And you don't have any good references anywhere when you're trying to avoid smacking your rotor blades into all your vertical areas, so that would be where a crew chief would be helpful. But guess what? Crew chiefs don't exist in the sim. I don't think you need a different license for pig shooting. I think as long as you have a commercial license, you get your private license, and you get your commercial. I think you should just be able to pick up a paying customer, or if not even paying, if you're just doing it for fun, then Or like a farmer's like, hey, if you want to shoot from your helicopter the pigs, come do it. And yeah, go for it. And not to put it out on the internet, but a lot of laws are annoying, but one laws I do not want to mess with is FAA laws. So I would say if you are going to do it for money, do get your commercial license. A lot of things that are not necessary to abide by. But that's a different discussion for a different stream. So it looks like our load's going to be here. We're going to be picking up that generator. This is good because this right here, this stack gives me a good reference point for what my altitude is off the deck. Let's see, get that off. And because this is a helicopter that I own, that I've worked hard to afford, I'll do the pre-flight and everything with it, even though you don't have to do all that stuff, other than get the port covers and stuff off. Let's see, let's get myself straightened here. We'll have to scoot forward a wee bit. And we're going to start this manually. Let's see, usually you'll do a test, everything to make sure your lights are working, but I keep all the maintenance up on these things, so I'm not too worried about that. Plus I don't know how accurate all that stuff's modeled anyways.
Engine started preparing for takeoff. Please be ready.
Put
Copy
this
that we're getting in
here.
position.
Up. I hate that.
Indicated on your map.
No shit, I do plan on buying a helicopter. Just requires a lot more of these streams to pay for it. Mounting a couple of forward-facing M2s just... I don't think there's anything wrong with it, as long as you have the correct licensing. Don't quote me on that, though. Let's see. Generator on. Got all those on. Bump that up to flight. Pitot heat. Fuel pump can go off. Let's see. Okay, now here's the weird thing. Our rope was already over in that direction, so there's a chance that it's going to try to auto hook us up to what it is, which isn't a bad thing, because it's already a bitch to line up because you don't have anybody telling you left, right, up, down, whatever. Let's see. Fighting a little bit of the ground effect bug there. And I might already be connected to it already. I swear I'm not that squirrely. I think it's just connected to it already. Yep. I'm getting tension there.
Secure and balanced, ready for liftoff.
We're using the torque of the engine there, boys. Tell you what.
Docker 2 Zargo, we're leaving with 2 packs. Heading to deposit
I can
zone.
open up the window here and show you guys a generator swinging from it. Yeah, I wish it didn't auto hook you up too, because if you need to abort the takeoff for whatever reason and get forward airspeed, you're already stuck to this damn thing. It's a bad move. I wish there was a way to yeah, of course you can mount it to a drone. There's definitely not been any lawsuits or anybody punished over that so far. I think if you do look it up, though, there is somebody who got in trouble at some point for mounting a Glock to a drone. I don't know why he got in trouble. I don't know what his charge was. It might have been manufacturing a machine gun, because it might have been like you press the button and it just kind of auto fires. And that's why you can't put a drill on a like one of those Glock mag Gatling guns, because it's technically a machine gun then, because you just pull the trigger once. We do not have enough height right there. We're gonna man up to 2,000 pounds. Yeah, we are. And now, since I don't have a crew chief or anything like that, what we do, we use this instrument mast.
I call it Buddy. It's like it's alive.
as our reference of where we're at. And I'm having to use a lot less collected to get off the tension on that. And now, leave them with that, kind of set off to the side. But I don't care about the accuracy, it's on there. Sure, I could set it down more direct, but it's on the platform, you know. If they were to make this better to where I had, like I said, a crew chief telling me left, right, up, down, whatever, we could be more accurate. But for a 30-foot line, that window's basically useless. These windows are really good for like a 200-foot long line. But for a 30-foot sling load, the window's kind of fucking dumb. But the 30-foot line's also long enough to where it's almost retarded to be calling it any sort of cargo load. Like usually the sling loads are a lot closer than that, where it's almost mounted directly to the base of the helicopter. So it's just it was almost like they had like helicopters were an afterthought. It's almost like they brought in a whole bunch of developers from overseas that have never seen a helicopter in their life and fighting the ground effect bug a little bit. Cool. Let's see, flick that off.
Lots of new faces down there. Hopefully they are prepared. If not, we could be in trouble.
Hold brakes to apply rotor brake. No, we wait for that. We wait till it gets below a certain RPM. Let's see. Altercations 327. Out choke at the smoke. Yeah, you can try arguing that, but I'm pretty sure there's an FFL somewhere who actually registered a Milwaukee cordless drill as a machine gun because they put a lug on a one of those Glock-fed Glock magazine fed Gatling guns. I think it's a Tippmann. Anyways, because you're one actuation of your trigger finger, or one actuation of your finger is one shot. It's some weird wording or whatever, but if you were to just actuate the trigger on your drill and just hold it down, even though it's a semi-auto gun, it would end up being a machine gun legally, per whatever gay standards they have come up with and try to convince us that that's not our right. But also, I feel like having Milwaukee, like, they should be okay. If they were like doing it with the Ryobi, they'd probably just go straight to jail. Like, at least with a Milwaukee, they're doing decent, you know. So yeah, that's a cargo drop mission. They do have the big, like, aerial construction missions, which I think I'd have to pop over to employee for that. I think I saw one up here, but there's such a pain in the ass that I'm not even going to do it until they fix everything with it, just because it's so stupid the way it is. Like, you don't know how high you are. It absolutely ridiculous using the sky crane for the missions because of that. Let's go somewhere. See if you guys can give me a Milwaukee Master race. Give me a location where a city's nearby, like with roofs and stuff like that. I'm going to show you all the landing or the ground effect bug. And we'll see if we can do a little bit more actual teaching, since this is live flight school today. Looks like there's 8 or 9 people in here right now. If you weren't here during the beginning when I was actually giving flight school stuff, say something. If y'all want me to show you how to fly a helicopter in Flight Sim 2024, pipe up, don't be afraid. We'll hop somewhere and we'll flip around some, you know. We'll get you going, we'll get you off the ground. St. Louis Arch, I would get shot. No, let's do it in current time. What time is it? Who cares? St. Louis. see, there's Memphis, St. Louis. Isn't there a small airport over here somewhere? St. Louis downtown, yep. Set its departure. Let's do it in the... I like retractable. Actually, we're going to do retractable gear. Yeah, let's do retractable gear on the 206. I like that. 206 is a fun helicopter. Oh, let's zoom in. Do I want to go through startup procedures? Okay, guys, your choice. Do I go through startup procedures or just start with it already running? Of course, it's going to be LARP. Fly through the Twin Towers. I mean, I think that's what they were trying to do in 2001, but they just weren't able to, like what is it? Like all the molecules and atoms in your body. There's a chance to where two objects, like it's such a super small chance. Startup, okay. There's a super small chance that you can actually, oh, where'd I go? Two pieces of matter, or like two masses or whatever, can start, or they can pass through each other, where all the atoms happen to miss. Just like if two galaxies were to collide, there's like an extremely low chance that any of the stars, or planets, or anything would actually hit each other, just because there's so much space in between them. So your body is the same way, except everything's a lot more densely packed, obviously. But there is that chance where you're actually, this is doing a very... Let me look at the stream, because sometimes at the night stuff, it gives my left eye like a very sepia tinted view. If that's the case, I might swap y'all over to the right eye. Just have y'all deal with it. Let me see what it looks like on the... That's weird that it does that. Okay, so it looks like that. Let me see if I can option this out. But yeah, there's a chance that you could clap your hands and your hands just go through each other. Super small chance. It's probably never going to happen, but there's a chance. Let's see. What would be doing this? Raymard? I don't know what that is. Oh. That's still kind of sepia toned. Does it look sepia toned for you guys? Kind of like hazy instead of like dark black there? Let me know. Because if y'all are okay with it for a few minutes, we'll do a quick flight with this, then we'll hop somewhere. But a lot of times with this night stuff, it just doesn't seem to... There's a setting somewhere that I don't know what they do, but it's it makes it not fun. But I'm going to go ahead and start with a startup process. But if y'all say it's too annoying, then we'll do something else. A little bit, but it ain't bad. Cool. Helicopter's probably behind us then, isn't it? And the reveal. Hello, beautiful. Bell 222. Sucks to be you. We're just gonna go fly through the arch. We're not doing medical shit. Idiot. Okay. Let's see. Let's get centered up here. Okay, that feels about right. Scoot forward. Let's see. Set master battery on. There we go. Look at this beautiful cockpit. Let's go. Collective there. Nothing there I need to worry about. Landing gear, we're going to leave that down while we're here on the ground. Everything in all this is kind of done in sections. All your fuses are up here. Windshield wiper. Let's see. Fuel. Fuel valve open. Shut off valve. A cape. Now there's a starter here. Okay, it looks like we got engine 1 starting to do its thing. Sounds like it. I want the other side now. Let's see. Main rotor's turning. It's gonna those on. Shut up. Rotor RPM is there. Actually, I don't like you. Turn the primes off now. Position lights, get all our lights on. Silence. Nobody asked. Oh my god. No smoking. Seatbelts, please. Let's see. Fuel tank, brakes, engine 1 anti-ice. Yeah, do we really need the anti-ice? Cool. Airflow, we don't need vents. Shut up. Fuel tank interconnects. Let's see. Fuel tank interconnect. That's there. Landing gear brakes. So we got brakes off. And the landing gear is still down. Cool. No smoking free. Yeah, this used to be a country. Actually, you know what? For you. Smoking's now allowed. And you don't have to wear your seatbelts either. You happy? I'm sure they like the smoking and seatbelts rule. Okay, let's go. Can I open my window for some sound? Hell yeah. Let's make myself a little bit taller. I'm not going to announce takeoff. Also, as you see, we have wheels, so we can do this. And hit the brakes. Sick. Okay. Slowly start picking up. Let's not swim it too much. Let's turn off all my little lollipop things. Don't need those, because we're going to figure this out regardless. And landing gear up. Hell yeah. Look, we already see the arch. Let's go. This here is also a quick helicopter. Why are you a light? Why is my landing gear warning light on? That's weird. Can I click on you? No, I'm not worried about it. Over torque light. Okay, cool. I was asking too much from the engines there. Sick. Low of 24. You might need anti-ice. Now, see, it's not so much the temperature that creates anti-ice, it's also atmospheric conditions as well. So if there's moisture in the air, or you're flying through a cloud, which is water vapor, or if it is enough to where it's icy, then you can start getting into an issue with anti-ice stuff. But for the most part, it should be okay. I want these down some. Want to be some shit flying here for a second, guys. A little bit of those. Cool. Okay, here we are. Welcome to the great city of St. Louis. As you can see here, we're about to be flying over the Mississippi River. Let's see, lights. Yeah, I don't care. Mississippi River is a big river made of water. The ground below it has nothing to do with it. It is a huge point of commerce for the country, though. A lot of people don't know, but the Mississippi River runs all the way up into Michigan or Minnesota, I believe, way deep up there. And the Mississippi River, along with the Tennessee River, are responsible for a lot of large ships getting in and out of central USA. That could be container ships, like this looks ghostly because a little bit of fog. But stuff like this container ship here moves millions and millions of pounds of coal, natural gas, it could be wood, stuff that's left mills, etc., in and out of the country and out to different places. So the river is actually a huge source of income for a lot of different states that are in the area. And this looks here like it's a bulk carrier, so this could be anything from soybeans. Coal is usually stacked on top. They don't care about this, but this looks like they're all sealing containers. So it could be something like soy, rice, etc. But ships are very, very cool and crucial part, and they can be massive. The Mississippi's dredged almost constantly up and down in different areas because of that. So that way you can get these massive ships in and out. There's a helipad right there. We'll come back and stop there for a minute. I want to fly under here like suggested earlier. Look at that. That's how you get arrested right there. But yeah, Mississippi River is quite a thing. I forget how many gallons of water move through it every minute or every second, but it's an unreal amount because it's fed from almost the entire country, from the Gulf all the way up to Canada, give or take. Let's slow down here a little bit. Let's actually take my laser pointer and set my gear down. Let's touch down at this helipad over here. Flick our landing light on so we can see what's going on a little bit. I don't know if this would be like a tour spot here on the water, or if it's an actual more like a heliport for different things, but there is an actual helipad here, which is cool. I see a helipad, I take a helipad. Try to do our initial descent and leveling off over the water, and then we'll move ourselves over it. Hopefully we don't get too much of a landing, a ground effect bug here. I don't have brakes for my feet, I've got it on a button. So I'm covering my brakes, so as soon as I get on top of it and land, you can hit the brakes and stop there. There we go. Bit of a harder touchdown, but I'm having to hold the stick in a very weird position. Shut up, I just put on the parking brake. Just like my car, don't tell me what to do. A tour spot, you've been there. Nice. Local airport. After this, I'm flying to Travis Kelsey's house. You're talking about that executive airport or whatever that I've mentioned before when I was talking to you. I don't want to dox you out loud. see, park and brake off. Start our hover. Let's go explore some culturally enriched places. Gear up. Let's take our landing lights off because we're going to be stealthy. Just ignore our flashing light, actually. Got that off. Got that off. Cool, we should be dark on the outside now. No lights, no flashers, no nothing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're north of here, correct? Does the Mississippi cut through your area too? I think the Mississippi cuts through your area, or is it an offshoot of the Mississippi? Actually, this is... I was going to say let's fly up there, but I'm not looking to do a long nighttime flight right now. Shut up, over-torque. Over-torque these nuts. Oh, we need to do a how fast is this puppy or the Bell 222 Bravo here. This was Airwolf, the thing in the movie, they had like turbine engines attached to the side. To our little almost winged looking things there on the back. And it was supposed to be a aircraft that could take off vertically like a helicopter, but then use these turbines to get moving much, much faster. Neat concept. I don't know how that would work with the retreating edge blade stall that I was talking about earlier. But I do know that Airbus has that new H160 concept thing with the with those wings and pusher blades on the side. So maybe if you put supplementary lift on the helicopter, you can ignore that part. Here we go, guys. 155, 160 knots. And that's cruising. That's, I mean, of course you wouldn't go this fast. But that's not using a downhill to our benefit. And I'm not over torquing the engine. I'm pushing the torque on the engine. We're up at like 80 to 90% there. But we can cruise at 155 knots. This is an executive helicopter. Of course, in this configuration, it's a medical helicopter, but it's an executive helicopter. Retractable gear, made to be super cushy and quiet. Conditioned space. Yeah, look at this. I bet everybody who lives here is super nice and not violent whatsoever. There's probably a super low crime rate here too. What a cool place. Also, it's weird to see. Let's see if we can grab a handful of altitude real quick. But it's always neat seeing, which even especially if you've flown in an airplane, then you know what the looks like flying over cities or rural areas where lights are and where lights disappear. But have all these lights everywhere, but then have the cut through of the river coming through. Yet pretty far from here. Which of course, like, you can make the trip. People fly helicopters across the country. Gotta stop for gas them a million times. But they're better for the short spurts here and there. Also, it seems like sepia color's still there a little bit for me, but it seems like it's gone down some. So it's not that bad. Let's say there's 2 other airports over there, but we're not going to go all the way there. Let's go back and hit this helipad real quick, and we'll jump somewhere else. Y'all figure out where else we're going to go, what else we're going to fly. Should I do a career mission? What do we need to do? Woo, 180 knots there on the downhill. Thank you, gravity. I can almost guarantee you, though, at that speed we would have got retreating edge blade stall and crashed. It's not modeled in this particular helicopter. There's only one helicopter that I've flown in the sim so far that's actually had the blade stall modeled, and that's the Bell 206 from Fly Inside. They might have other ones that they've made that recreate that that aerodynamic fault. I don't want to say a fault, just a feature, you know. But it's the only one that I've flown that's really had a model of that. Let's see. Looks like it killed off on me, so let me refresh that. Come back in. Grand Canyon, yeah, we'll do Grand Canyon with a in the daytime. In Microsoft 2020, it did not look that good. Kind of like how we were looking at the ground earlier and suffering from our. I like how it thinks that's a building. That's silly. Definitely flew through the wires there. But yeah, when how we were suffering from the lack of detail with the cloud-based gaming earlier, the Grand Canyon used to look like that full-time in Microsoft 2020. So it was not a looker before, I'll tell you that. Let's see, we're right on the other side of this. Landing light. Oh, look at that! There's a helicopter here. Never would have known. Yeah, I've had the lights on the whole time. Yeah, see? They've always been on. No big deal. Look, our gear's down. We're slowing down. 60 knots or so. It's coming from the other direction. And use that as a fixed point to look at. Helicopter tours, yeah, I could have seen that if we came in on this side earlier. I think we have a tailwind coming from that direction. That's a bit of an ass to handle. So we're going to come back in from this direction so that way we're not having to worry about something completely deleting any sort of ETL that we have. Yeah, much more stable in this direction. Oh, there's my ground effect bug. Hard landing, but it's, I don't want to say it's something that you have to do here, but with the ground effect button you really need to shut up. Nobody asked. But yeah, with the ground effect button you really have to like slam it sometimes on these things to get it to go. I don't want you anymore. Go away. Cool. Airflow. Is there no rotor brake here? There might be somewhere. I'm not worried about it. To the Grand Canyon we go in flight. We'll do a Grand Canyon tour using the H-130, which is similar to that 125 that we did the lifting mission with. Should be here-ish. Maverick. Yep, that's what we're going for. We're going to go to the EC-130, which is this. Let's see if we can pick a livery without crashing the damn sim. So Jacob's been yapping. How's everybody else doing? Everybody else is quiet. You learning anything? You got any questions? Got anything that you want to know or you're dying to know about helicopters? Let's go over into the ends. Air Evac Life Team. That's medical. I think this is a Maverick Grand Canyon one, or they had that same livery. Puerto Rico. This is my local looking one there. I'm gonna not use my controller. I'm gonna use this. It's Spade. Let's see if we can find one that looks Maverickish. Zach. microflight. That's Air Evac Life Team. Air Evac Life Team. That's cool looking. It's got to be a privately owned, yeah, Gypsy. I believe that's Rainbow Tours. Niagara Helicopters. Okay, yeah, they've got that color. Hell yeah, we're sticking with that one. Unless I see something better. Even though it's a French helicopter. What do you think? I'm thinking that red, white, and blue one. Not this one, but the other one. Aviators Air Rescue. Nope, Maverick. Here we go. We found it. Because we're taking off our Maverick, so we're going to use Maverick. Let's see. Ah, don't be sorry. You don't apologize for anything. You're American. Flight conditions. That looks lightish outside. Ooh. Let's see, this can load in for a second. So I opened an energy drink starting the stream. However long ago that was. How deep are we in here right now, boys? We are... Oh man, it only shows me since the last update. Anyways, we're like 2 hours in on this. Actually, I can check here. Check when I sent Mr. Jacob. At 4:56, so yeah, 2 hours ago I started sipping an energy drink. I just now finished it. So, we're good to do a long New Year's stream here. If people are going to stick around. Hey, it looks like we're starting to load in a little bit. Sure, says departure. Actually, let me do we're going to see if we can load this up with passengers and stuff too. Fuel and payload. Manage fuel. I want to make this heavy. I wish we could go backwards on that. I hate getting it that full. Fuel, manage mass, seats, quick fill, 100%. Cargo fuel. Yeah. I want this heavy. Saving back. Saving back. Start flight. Let's see if it actually makes us heavy. Let's see if we actually have to fly a helicopter now instead of just piloting a little Zippos shooting around the sky. Let's put some weight. Let's put some strategy in here. 5,000. How much weight did I put in there? Because this is basically the same as that H-125, which we do the 2,000 pound pickup with. Boy, this is so riveting. Come on, let's go. Loading Scream Simulator 2024. Oop, looked like it got a little bit greener there for a second. Let's see. Oh. see, can I want to start at Maverick, because I mean, that's where we Come on, Starlink. Do something for me, please. Go, let's check my phone like a nice pilot while we're doing this. Oh? Am I zooming out more? Losing everything? Fun. Oh, oh, oh. Guys, we are so back. We are so back. Let's go. Let's go, boys. Got a few people in here. That's not bad. Ready to fly. Okay, let me take my feet off the table and let's do this. Let's see. The Airbus H125, more or less the same thing as the, or H130, my apologies. Basically the same thing as H125, same engine, same transmission, all that stuff, except the difference is we got the Finistrom tail system here, which is an enclosed tail rotor. Makes it much nicer for not chopping people's head off, but they still have giant grates that you can stick your hand through if you so choose. So if you do want to die, you just have to try a little bit harder. Spotlight equipped on this for some reason. Don't know why. We just make our way through. All my viewers right here, you're all looking good. Your eyes are up here. Okay, let's shift C our way in here. Let's sit in our position, correct our camera. Okay, let's go. More or less the same startup procedure as the other one. Fuel pump and that on for sure to start. Anti-collision lights, which is my strobe to let people know around that we are about to crank up. And crank the hog. Let's see. Test in progress. Shut up. Nobody asked. Come on. Everything's at idle. Oh, you got this here too. Now we should be able to crank the hog. There we go. Our hog is cranked. Taylor's. Damn, Jacob. Look at you. You wouldn't mind if I were to, get right here, would you? Mm-hmm. Jacob. Jacob. Can't fly from over here. Sorry, that was unprofessional of me, Jacob. I apologize. One, turn on. Why aren't you on? Let's see, generator on, horn. I would say it's on the avionics control. That's right. Don't need fuel pump anymore. Why Why all the way up there? That's strange. Don't creep up on me again. You stay in the green. There's no reason for you to be all the way up there. Yeah, no, you shouldn't be up there. What are you... Weird. See, that's on. Generator's on. There's lights, horn. We're at flight now. There should be no reason that should be on the limit. But did I overload the helicopter? Maybe. I did say I wanted it heavy. Yeah, we're not getting off the ground here. I can't even slide it forward. We sure should overloaded that. That's that would explain. Reset. Cargo fuel. 5,000 pounds of seats. What was I thinking? And actually, let's do a full reset on that, because we were not going to get off the ground. We had way too much altitude already. The air was too thin. Configure. Fuel and payload. Cool. Yeah. Okay, let's do loading simulator again, guys. That was on me. Buy me a drink first. No, it's a joke. It's like take them out on the boat. It's either put out or swim. It's like, cool, you want to skydive or do you want to land safely? You can either jump out or put out. My helicopter, my rules. All my subscribers and members getting harassed here. No. I'm not even... We didn't even start. What are you doing? See, starts like that are terrifying for doing career mode stuff, because if you spend $2 million on a helicopter airplane and it starts you in a glitch, then you can just toast $2 million worth of grinding and time and effort gone down the drain. Sorry for everybody dropping in. It's boring right now. We're experiencing the joys of cloud-based gaming. It's the future, if you don't know. Especially when you have Starlink, to where your game is actually in the cloud, and you are dependent on the Lord and Savior Elon Musk and what he does and how he manages our internet. And if you happen to make fun of somebody who's here on an H-1B visa, then sorry, your Starlink's getting cut off. Not allowed to talk about that. Let's see. Guys, If this doesn't load in 30 seconds, we're going to restart the game. Because we might be cooked at the moment. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do that now. Your screen will go black for just a second while I get us out of this and reload it. So bear with. Black screen game crash simulator 2024. Okay, I believe y'all should see. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we get the full loading screen simulator 2024. Except I believe y'all still be looking at like a corner of it because that's how I have to set it for the VR. Yep. So this is what it could look like if cloud-based gaming was actually what it's supposed to be. So what's new? Everybody enjoying? Jacob, you glad you finally made one? I'm glad you're finally here. It's nice to have somebody to jibber jabber back and forth with on this. Let's see. Hop back over in here. Let's see. Let me update on y'all on the loading percentage. We are 2% still. Come on. Y'all feel free to go use the bathroom. Unless you've been doing that the entire time anyways. Because if you're watching it from your phone, you can do whatever. So feel free to drive to the store and go harass somebody who has to work on New Year's. Go do that while we sit here for the next couple of minutes. It's only if you live near a store. If not, you're legally required to stay here. %, guys. We're moving up. We're moving up in the world. And actually, since we're restarting the game here, we'll do another quick tutorial on how to fly for anybody that's just now getting in here. The 2 other people, 14% we're activating packages now. I can tell you my package has been activated. %. It's showing a whole bunch of the jet stuff here. But yesterday I went and did pretty much all of the fixed wing licensings and yeah, licensings are. I haven't done all the specializations because you have to get a whole bunch more clocked fixed wing stuff. But I have done everything except for tailwheel endorsement and firefighting. Because right now, passively, my career mode is making just about no money. Despite having multiple turbine helicopters stationed around the world to where they can do whatever sorts of missions, they apparently work 20 minutes a day. instead of working multiple hours a day where they can actually make me enough money to pay for the maintenance in them. Because it makes you basically check maintenance every day whether or not it's been flying. You know, I get it, like you have to get a big enough operation to become profitable to the point to where, you know, you don't have to keep up with it all the time and do your own flying. Like, you can have businesses that are self-sufficient. But listening and talking to another streamer like SAR Heli 241 or something like that, I think that's his name, he was saying that he has a couple of VIP flight company that makes pretty good. We're at 88% now. So I wanted to get all my licensings and stuff for airline travel so I could do VIP charter services with stuff like these fixed wing jets. Here we go, finally loaded. Okay, what were we supposed to be doing? Grand Canyon, that's it. We'll go back and try it again. It's this whole line of dots right here. We're going to be back at Maverick. But yeah, so I'm doing that in the hopes that maybe I can figure out through a little bit of studying which businesses would be the most profitable. And if it's something where I need to spend X amount of in Congo protecting lithium mines, it's just like my stock portfolio. I don't want to send people to a brother war to die, but my stock portfolio is going to say a completely different thing. I wonder where those two dots are. Weird. But yeah, it's I want to figure out which aircrafts or whatever can make substantial income on here as a passive income business. Because right now for the helicopter stuff, you kind of have to at least fly once or twice career mode for the day to make enough money to actually get to a point where they pay for themselves. You know, it's like one helicopter for every 24 hours of flight, or basically every day. It costs like $12,000 to $16,000 game money here. To do that, then any maintenance has to be done on top of that. But I've got like 5 or 6 of these things stationed around, and I'm making like $50,000 a day from everything. So they're not able to pay for themselves because the crews that I stick on them aren't working for some reason. Who knows? We'll see. I'll be doing, you know, it's bandwidth too low. Loading times may be extended in world streaming to... What? No, you're telling me cloud-based gaming is suboptimal? Absolutely wild. Never would have guessed. But yeah, apparently War Thunder is not a mobile game that just has cheesy, cringe-worthy YouTube ads from people. Apparently it's a pretty solid game, from what I've heard. I couldn't tell you. I've had a handful of people tell me I should get on to DCS or other flight-based games. But my entire reasoning of getting into this... What time is it there? Looks sunsetty to me. Okay, let's hop back in VR mode real quick. Do I not have doors now? Ready to fly? Where's my mouse? I'll do it with my laser pointer. Okay, let me turn that off then real quick. Do it with our mouse. And then we'll hop in here. Let's see. Apparently I don't have doors now. Eh, cool. More helicopter sounds for everybody then. I know my buttons. Crank that hog. Avionics on so I can get that moving. Maybe it's a little bit lower. That's a weird thing about VR. Like, you sit in a different position than what's typical or whatever. Like, you feel like, here I feel like I'm super, super low in the helicopter. And it just feels like, oh man, I can't sit there because it's sand filter on because we're near the desert. Crap place. Continue. Okay, I should have a lot less weight in here this time. So yeah, we're already light on the skids. Okay, let's go. We're doing like a full U-turn up here. Get rid of the lollipops. H-130s are definitely a good looking helicopter. Can't give you all the way to Grand Canyon too quick, I think. Let's go back to view 1. And actually, I want to pop out of VR mode real quick and see if I can do something. There's supposed to be a toolbar. Show toolbar T. Give me toolbar. Go back. Zoom back. Resume. That's annoying as shit. Can't turn the toolbar on. Oh well. Let's hop back in this. That's situated in. We're sitting a bit far back. Okay guys, welcome to your Grand Canyon tour. My name is Matthew, I'm your pilot today. We are currently ignoring any ATC commands because I am actively switching the radio to channels that they're not going to find us on. So we don't have to worry about them telling us what to do. We're going to squawk 60. No. Sure, let's just clear that up. Let's do 7,500 so they know that we are being hijacked currently. And we will see if anybody wants to come to our rescue. We just did a full loop right there when I was not paying attention. So yeah, let's get back to it. We could have crashed there, but guess what? That doesn't matter. Because you're here for a Grand Canyon tour, and I'm going to give you a Grand Canyon tour. And we're going to keep it nice and low following the road here coming in. So that way I'm not giving anything too much away to you. Although I do wish the toolbar would pop up so that way I could, you know, hit it for a different time of the day for you. But we're here with what we got. Hell yes, I love being hijacked. Like any sort of jacking I'm okay with getting. Are we talking about helicopters? the equivalent of checking my phone doing this here. Change our frequencies up. We don't need any real frequencies. We've got our location. We're squawking. Can I put the doors back on? No, that's just my checklist. But yeah, as you can see, this helicopter is very well set up for tours. Usually they'll take this stick out, so that way whoever's sitting in the middle doesn't have to deal with it. They do keep it there for training flights and stuff like that, so the middle stick does live there a bit. But it's nice having this big, wide open area, because you can imagine in the seat that Jacob was sitting in earlier, before he turned down my advances, this is a very good place to get a tour from. It's big open views and everything in front of you, and it's a very good way to see the world, I guess you could say. We'll see a drunk stream sometime. Dude, I don't even remember the last time I drank, honestly. I've got like 4 bottles of whiskey here that I've had for 2 years that I've slowly been going through. I just haven't felt the need to. Don't want to brag that, oh, I have a happy life, because no, you know, nobody really truly does, I think. But I just don't drink often. Don't need to. Like, I'm 33 years old. I feel like crap when I wake up after I drink. So it's a preservation thing there at that point. I'll turn this down a little bit. Possible. Actually, here, this is the turn down here. And I think menu, go away. We're getting near the Grand Canyon. Main menu. Set up. Display. There we go. Oh, look, there you go, guys, the Grand Canyon. So yeah, it looks phenomenally better in 2024 versus 2020. 2020 just looked like super, like Lara Croft Tomb Raider, the old one with triangle tits and everything. I priced plans last night. Took one sip and fell asleep. Dude, I could not sleep right now. Look at that. Dude, with the door off, like I said with the MD500 earlier, it just feels like a whole different thing being in VR. You have both your eyes with a slightly different point of view. So, like, I have the full depth perception of what it is. And I'm not even running the highest graphics right now, which is the crazy thing. Of course, the closer we get to the ground, the more it will render in and give us. But, there's so many little places and points. I know there's, like, places that helicopters will land in the canyon and do, like, a little picnic, but I don't know which ones those are specifically. I've never had Blanton's, though. I do hear a lot of good about it. The group chat that I'm in talks a good bit about said Blanton's. But I've never partaken. I've got an old Forester sampler pack of 1897, 1910, and 1920. The big reason for me getting those was because somebody told me that you can really taste the differences in the, I don't want to say in the pores, but in the brews. You don't call them brews. What do you call them? Anyways, different taste in the drinks. Sorry, it's wiggly. I'm readjusting my headset here. Oh, look, there's lights down here. Let's go check those out. But yeah, so like he told me there was a lot of different differences that you taste with the different versions. Where 1897 was done a certain way, 1910 was done another way, 1920 was done another way, and like one was finished in a different barrel because they had suffered a fire in whatever year, and then moved everything else to a different barrel for finishing because the first ones they were in were charred. but it ended up giving them a whole bunch better taste because they were finished in another barrel. Whoa, what is that? I don't want to risk running into whatever that is. Whatever weird loading error that could possibly be. Actually, my water looks silly down there. Is my water view settings good? Water waves. Is there an ultra? No. But yeah, I can definitely taste the difference between all of them, so I didn't mind getting that sampler pack. Just because of that fact itself. Like, because before my whole whiskey drinking experience was, for lack of better terms, when you're younger, and it's just a, you get whatever somebody gives you, you take a swig, and then it just, you suffer, for lack of better terms. But, yeah, I think 1920's a higher proof one, correct? I think 1910 is the weakest out of those three. Anyways, and I also have a bottle of, what is it? Woodford Reserve Double Oak, or Double Barrel something. Something along those lines. And, I think that's the village straight ahead up there. We're kind of in the village area. Yeah, so I'm probably drinking 70% of all of those bottles, where they all have a decent bit left for a handful of pours out of them. But I don't even think I've gotten toasted drunk off any of those. Let's do a landing here and appreciate still being a significant way off the bottom of the canyon, but we'll follow this path until we get to the edge. Beep, 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 beep. I know, rotor speed, watch your mouth. We did a better job governing, you wouldn't have to worry about it. Let's wait for all this to load in, so that way I'm not landing on a tree on accident. Yeah, I don't know if those trees are actually, or not trees, but bushes. I don't know if those are solid or not. But yeah, the Grand Canyon is significantly better in 2024, despite the loading in times, which could be my Starlink since this is cloud-based. Oh, and there's a cool thing that we can do. Let me turn back down to idle there real quick, and let my rotor speed get lower. Boy, this thing's crashed me a couple of times here recently. Let's see. I keep reopening the stream up so I can see what you guys are saying. 1910 is dark on it. Let's see, I can do a Shift C. Now, really I should have a co-pilot in here for this. I'm sure I'm not going to walk off the edge over here. But for real, I should be in the helicopter while it's still running. Or have a co-pilot in there holding the controls for me. Yeah. Pretty sick. Not bad. See, get re-centered, bring our throttle up to flight. Shut up. Off we go. Let's make our way back up while we still have light. Dude, that's wild. My The stream on my end's crashed like 4 times in the past 10 minutes. See, climbing speed, we're looking about 60 knots or so. I believe that's BY for this helicopter, which is the cool kids slang term for climb rate. It looks like at that 60 we were doing about 1,000 feet per minute, which I don't think will be enough to get us up here, so we'll do like a circle as we're going up. I wonder if there's really things built down there, or it's just a weird photogrammetry thing that it's doing, because I don't see how anybody would drive down here unless there's little shacks that were put together by bringing in loads with a helicopter. But I think this is all vehicularly inaccessible for the most part. You can actually add some more collective on here. Let's see if we can actually get up the right way. We'll try. Or not get up the right way, get up the brute force way, I should say. Losing a little bit of airspeed, so I want to push forward a bit more and get ourselves back into that 60 knot range. And now that we're really getting the airspeed back for that, I can pull back and try to manage down, but I think we're going to clear it now. In fact, I'm so confident we're going to clear it that I'm going to cut it this way, and I'm going to basically tree top the top of this. Come on, load in for me. Make it look pretty. Imagine eating dinner at that fucking lodge there, and some asshole in a helicopter just comes up on you like that. I mean, I would be hyped about it, but I don't know what everybody else would do. Let's get up high and see the sunset. If I jump over to 2020, we could fly the Huey. I'll do that on another stream. We'll leave this one 2024, so I'm not making y'all sit through another game loading in initially, whatever. But we'll do a Huey in Vietnam. I may or may not have done that before. That may or may not have been the first thing that I did when I downloaded the Huey. Okay, we'll start heading back down this way. Get to our airport. You're not on limit, shut up. This would probably be the last flight of the night. It's getting dark, where you're no longer in good visual flight rules. Flat Earth confirmed. No, we can hop in a fighter jet. Y'all want to do that? Should I hop in a jet and try to fly a jet with airplane controls? It is neat taking a, I've done the fighter, what did I do, F-15? It is annoying because you can't full throttle unless you have to grab your laser pointer and manually put it in full after, where the throttle can only do so much. Yeah, since we're doing this, let's set up a normal-ish approach for this off. It's on airport, but it's kind of off airport too. So typically, what I assume, I've never done the Grand Canyon tour, but I don't think they're going to cross right over the end of the runway unless ATC does. But I think they probably have majority of the right-of-way here in the Grand Canyon, since they run, there's 3 or 4 helicopter companies all based right here. But typically, you cross over midfield at pattern height, just like 500 feet or so above ground level. So right now it'd be a call to the tower, or previously it'd be like, hey, this is Maverick Helicopter 42069, crossing midfield for a left down, or approach, whatever. Well, right now it'd be a left downwind. And then we cross midfield and come in, and we're actually landing back over in there. But I think, yeah, we'll get a jet. We'll see how high we can get it. What's the name of the, oh no, never mind. I knew the name. I know where we're gonna go. So we're cooking on this approach. So we're gonna down on the collective, pull back on our cyclic, overspeed our rotor system. Nope, let's not do that. Let's do it relatively officially without overspeeding our rotor system. So I'm having to add some collective to require some torque from the engine. Shut up, you finicky bitch. Yeah, so basically I was descending quickly or slowing down enough to where I was auto-rotating the rotor system as I was already flying. I believe this is the one that we took off from. Okay. Not worried about shutting it down. That's my assistant's job. Okay, let's go chase another sunset. Over here. Oh, let's see. Airplane. L-39 Albatross is a trainer jet, but we don't want a trainer jet unless there's nothing better here. 400M's cool. F-18 Super Hornet, that's probably what we're going to end up in. But I don't know if there's any other fighter jets. A-10 Warthog, very cool. But we're going for speed here. PC-24, one of my favorite private jets. Super fast. And for anybody that's watching this that's unaware, I am doing this with the Apache Simulator's R44 control setup, so it's basically helicopter only. Controls, which cool, you know, but it's not exactly the best for I'm going to start this thing running because I've got no idea how to start it up. Is that enough runway? Can we do another runway? Let's do this one. Because I have no idea how to start these things up, or am I even going to pretend that I do? Because I think you have to bring ground power and stuff over to it. So let's enjoy the cloud-based gaming here for a few moments together. Helicopter Boy does fixed wing. Not only does he do fixed wing, he does the fixed wing. Who uses the F-18? Do the Blue Angels use the F-18 now? Is that what they're in? Or are they 16s? I mean, they're Navy. Oh, I'm all the way down here. Okay.
Point Magoo Tower, Boeing November 18469er at runway tree ready for departure, straight out departure.
Okay, let's see. Let's let everything load in for a second so I can actually figure out what I'm doing. How am I seating? Good. Let's familiarize myself with where things are. I have my throttles here, obviously. Throttle friction, don't need to worry about that. Launch bar, flaps lever, that's what I need to know. Landing gear. Landing gear, flaps. I should pretty much be able to do everything else. We're going to turn my landing lights on. Even though, I wonder. Nope. Oh, in-op, damn it. Okay, flaps. I'll probably have to use up my mouse. So I'm not clicking on stuff. I'm on 50% flaps now. It's just a click, click. Okay. And up on the throttle we go. Parking brake off. My helicopter mind already had a little bit of anti-torque. Looks like our speed over on the left. I have no idea what takeoff speed is. Apparently there. Thank you, flaps. Where's my mouse? Give me. And then we're going to take gear up too since we're here. We're full throttle now. And we brake. Like I said, we're chasing sunsets over here. Which we got the sunlight in here now. Let's go. Hey, there we go. We're starting to get it over the horizon there. 284 knots. We are now at 6,000 feet. Let's throttle all the way up. Give ourselves a nice little bit of pitch here. Is that afterburner that's clicking in on me? Where are we at? We're going up. We're doing a thing. Let's go up more. Let's go up steeper. That's way too much airspeed. Okay, that will eventually stall us. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to find somewhere where I'm not killing airspeed completely. Okay, we're at 30,000 feet currently. And we are now leveled off at 31,000. But I don't think that's what Jacob wanted. I think he said 50,000. So now we're climbing at 7,000 feet a minute again. We're going to keep on working our way up. I think you can black out. Yeah, I can land it. Okay. Can you land an airplane? Look, you just fly in a straight line. It's easy enough, right? Full power. Throw those burners on for me. We want altitude here. Short. It's gonna sit up a little bit. Too damn foggy. Dude, imagine this thing time traveling back and doing a show of force run over like the British or something when they were approaching the US. Damn, that gives me a freedom boner. Let's get rid of that. Cool. no blackout there. So I guess I don't have the G stuff turned on at the moment. Ooh, where's my airspeed? I'm stalling over here. Hello. Oh, we're shooting for 50,000 feet, F-18. Chill your shit. Look, you're aiming down now. Suck my ass. All the way back down to... How are we still going 100 miles an hour? Super gay. Look how stupid airplanes are. Good lord. That would be silly if I had to run out of gas. But I still hear the turbines going. Let me see. Let me do this. Settings. Assistances. G effect, G suit. Weird. Why am I losing a shit ton of airspeed doing that? That's strange. Should not be killing airspeed like that. It's not flat spin territory. Weird. Then again, I'm not an airplane pilot, I couldn't tell you. Absolutely strange. We'll come in for an approach, we'll follow the river a bit. Fuel low, fuel low, that's all you want to tell me. Pretty sure I had controls where I could add fuel. Controls, fuel. Maybe I only had it set for helicopter stuff? Fuel. Okay, cool. We have fuel now, guys. Let's go. Auto rotate won't save you now. Rotary pull. Okay, I think maybe we were dealing with fuel issues. Okay, we're going back up to 50, guys. I think we're having fueling issues. I think that's what it was. There should have been no reason for that to do what it was doing. Come on, 420 speed, there we go. 419, damn it. Bring the nose down a little bit. Let's see, 3 Gs, 4 Gs. Pushing back forward. Getting our airspeed back up. Do I feel short again? Yeah. There we go. Now I can look out my window, not like a child looking over the dashboard of his dad's truck. can suck my ass on the afterburner for so long. If you have an afterburner, would you be using it? Yeah, exactly. It's like I paid for the entire speedometer. I'm going to use it. Not really losing airspeed there. Let's level back off a little bit. Still losing airspeed. Maybe there's just not a lot of air up here. Maybe these things don't breathe this high. That's a flaw with the F-18. That's why the F-22 is so much better. And I believe the airport we're going for is below us. Yeah, there it is back there. Okay, let's hit some Machs real quick, guys. Mach 7.9, Mach 8. And I believe at a certain point, see, you get a sonic boom. See, quiet. And it does a little sonic boom thing. Very cool. Woo. I didn't crash. I just blacked out. I was going to come back from it. Asshole. Don't tell me what to do. It's only 7 Gs. Where am I at? We're going over there. Okay. God, this airplane's such a cock block. Yeah, I was pulling for the G's there. That was on me. I kind of knew what I was doing. Yeah, we gotta bring the speed way down. Let's idle this bad boy. Let's do a slow down loop. Back in on the throttle. Look at this, falling out of the sky. I'll be honest, guys, I don't think I'm a very good F-18 pilot. I can do the little rotor things here and there, but I don't know about F-18ing. Okay, 350's fast as shit. There's speed brakes here. Can I not click on anything now? Do I need my laser pointer? $230, sure. Got one thing of flaps in. All flaps. I'm sure there's speed brakes somewhere, I just don't know where they're at. But I think we're good now, we're at 200. That's more than slow enough. Sensitive controls now with the flaps down. 2 red, 2 white, good to land. 180, yeah, we're definitely at a good speed. Little off center, but I don't care. I don't like hitting the reflectors in the middle anyways. Professional, professional. On the brakes. Parking brake. Let's just skid it to a stop. Okay, cool. There you go. Almost 50,000 feet, but I think it just can't breathe up there. I think that's a flaw, not a feature. Let's shut it down here on the runway. They don't need us. Yeah, sure. Y'all can have that. I'm not even part of the military. I'll see you guys later. One more look as I walk away. I think this is hot. Can we die? Ooh. Kinda cool. Okay, let's see. In flight. Where we go, where we go, where we go. I say... Thank you. As you can see, I'm a professional. Let's get back to the superior aircraft here that are available to us. We'll do one more flight somewhere, and then I'll hop off and let everybody else have a life. Let's hop in that. Let's make this not a rescue configuration so I don't have to look at people. Let's do passengers. Let's see. Let's go somewhere new. Let's go somewhere I have not flown before. I've done Japan. See, I'm looking at the sunrise and sunset line here. Of course, I can always change the time. I think I've done Buenos Aires. I've done wherever Christ the Redeemer is. Beautiful spot. I think that's here. Actually, I'm going to show you guys that. Is it there? No, it's up here. Yeah. I believe it's this heliport there. And we've already flown the 125, so let's do the Robinson 2066 here. We'll take the sprayer head off, though. Come on and load in for us, please. If I were to live it up right now, that'd help me load in faster. I just haven't done the R66 yet here, so let's do somewhere in Australia. Flew Sydney the other day. Let's come down to Melbourne. I don't know what it looks like here. Melbourne International. Come on, cloud-based gaming, you got this. Just one more flight. That's all we need. Okay, we're close. Close. Let's see where we're going to be away from stuff. Sure. Okay. There we go. Get rid of you. Oh, I guess I gotta do the front one. Sure, don't care. Turn around. No pedo ports or anything? Guess not. Strange. It's cargo. Engine cover. Ooh. Shift C. Okay, one last flight. One more for the boys. Fuel valve open. And of course I can't put this on there. That's supposed to go there to kind of keep you from doing whatever. Strobe on. We scoot forward a little bit. Let's see, we got N2 engine torque. See, generator, radar temp, okay, NGT N1, okay, got that enabled. I believe there's a starter on one of these, but I've got one for me. There we go. I believe. Funny thing is, the rotor's spinning the wrong way. That's just their animation's off. Come on, you're almost there. Also, I will say I have no idea what I'm doing in this particular airframe, so, does this just have a super slow startup? It might. Jeez. Sure. Give it everything. Why not? Give it full throttle. Why not? Maybe my starter button doesn't like it since this is a weird auto thing. There we go. That's definitely what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, boys, we're live. Now there's 7 people in here watching me deal with that shit. Thanks, guys. Slowly bring our RPM up. There you go. Level yourself off. Okay, cool. We're in. We are in. No, I don't want you pointing that here. What's up with all these people? Why are there so many people here? Do I have it set where I can see other people's names? Settings. Online. Okay, whatever. We're back in. A little bit of a scoot forward, and let's go. We're heading north or south? What are we doing, guys? Are we going east, west? Let's ignore air traffic control. Let's find their tower and let them know. They're way over here. That's dumb. Helicopter crossing a runway. Heads up, everybody. Clear left, clear right. That's all they can ask for, right? Okay. You get 2 towers? What makes you think you deserve that? Better than us? Okay, off we go. Let's leave these people alone. Is there a panel option thing? Nope. Okay, cool. Whatever. Let's go check out Melbourne City. We'll go check out the city, guys. Head west. Oh, somebody told me west, so... Isn't west just a load of nothing? That's Sean, I'm not going to listen to you. West is just nothing. This is Australia. We're in Melbourne. West is literally outback. And while I do want to do an auto-rotation in the day, I don't want to do an auto-rotation in the middle of the damn outback. I'd rather do it in a city street. Something challenging. Yeah, forget their approach paths and stuff too. We're going straight in. Downside is this is like the world's most economy turbine helicopter that exists. As far as how fast this puppy goes, we could push a little bit over 100, but I get my rotor RPM warning there when I try to really pour the beans to it. Just here under normal flight, trying to do something of a speed. Our engine torque's at like 80%. Unreal. This is a turbine helicopter. People pay $1 million for this fucking thing brand new. Unreal. I mean, then again, I guess it's like a good trainer. You know, it's for people that aren't being too serious, doing tours where you don't need to travel over 60 or 70 knots, you know. I think the one down in Destin, Florida uses an R66. Low G pushover prohibited means something like this. The mechanics love it when you do that. just a fun fact. If you ever go get your pilot's license and you're in a Robinson, make sure you do low G pushovers. It's not that they don't want you to do it for mechanical reasons, they just don't want you to have fun. They want you to take it seriously. Low G pushovers have nothing to do with the effects of mast bumping and how it can fracture and microfracture the drive shaft or anything like that. It's completely irrelevant. So let's see, yeah, this is the Robinson R66. There are 3 helicopters in the Robinson range if you're looking at just base models. You have the R22, which is the 2-seater, small 4-cylinder gas engine. Really the trainer of the world. The Capri G2 is now coming in as a follow-up trainer or a replacement, but the R22 has kind of been around, it's going to be around. Auto rotator with the nearest Outback Steakhouse. Isn't that every steakhouse down here? I don't even think you're legally allowed to have different... Is it another airport right there? Okay, no, we're going to keep going out here. Flemington Racecourse. I want to land there. What do you think? Is that cars or horses, boys? I think that close to the sea. It's got to be horses. There's no way they're going to let that much noise. Department of Environment, Land, Water, and Planning. Are we in a fucking communist state? Is that where we're at? Chat, is Australia communist? Let me know. Yeah, so there's the 22, which is a 2-seater. There's the 44, which is a 6-cylinder, 5-seater, I guess you could say. I think 3 people fit behind us. And this is the 66, which is a turbine version of the 44. I'm sure there are some slight airframe differences to manage the greater torque loads and power that the turbine can create. But typically, most people will do a 44. The only reason to really go with a 66 is just for reliability. Even though, like I've mentioned before, I am technically flying upside down right now. Can I fly upside down in this thing? I need to fly right side up. Let's see, let's get a little bit of height. Guys, can an R-44 fly upside down? I was right side up there for a second. It's not exactly the most powerful helicopter in the world, so you can't really do that because Australia's just backwards anyways. Yeah, so the 44 is what most people typically do. The turbines have a higher cost of maintenance. They are a more reliable engine, though. Kind of a trade-off. Typically, you would think a turbine's much more powerful, but in this case, it's not a huge, significant power increase in the Robinson line of helicopters, sadly. But for day-to-day operations, there is less maintenance on the turbines. They do cost a little bit more, but when you're doing like daily tours and stuff, and you don't want to have a bird down for a whole bunch of different things that may come, whether it's like magnetos getting inspected every 100 or 250 or 500 hours or whatever, it makes more sense for consistent operations. What are you? What was that light? NR pressure. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't care about that. We're going for the race course here. Shut up. Let's see. Yeah, so this is the R66. I don't know of anybody that has an R44 model for the simulator. There's the 22, which I do have, that I can and have used on... Shut up. So annoying. That's the rotor speed. Tell me the rotor speed's low. It's just because this helicopter doesn't have a lot of ass behind it. It doesn't... Marvel Stadium? The communist Marvel enthusiasts? I feel like that tower should be taller. This should be the race course right here, but I'm curious what it is. With a tent like that, it makes me think horses. And also it looks like this is a big horse track here. So we'll do like a scouting approach pass. Yeah, this has to be horses, guys, right? Yeah. Yeah, this is a horse track. Yeah, let's go land over their little helipad or whatever. Do a hot approach. Maybe the circus uses their parking lot, and that's why that's set up like that. Yeah, I'm not landing on that fucking helipad. It is not rendered in a good enough way for me to safely put down there, I don't think. And I don't want this to be the end of it, but we're going to try it. And I do realize I just said I'm not going to land there, and then a little bit of wind from our left, that's fun. I'm trying to work around the photogrammetry issues with the bushes and stuff here. I'm trying to put my tail in the right place. Did I get the tail in the right place? Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Also, here's an annoying thing. I have the collective all the way down. It should not be creating any sort of downward thrust currently, yet it browns us out completely. Now when I pull the collective up to lift off, it should give us dust like that. Okay, come on, itchy. Let's go. But a cool thing to mention about that too is you can do a much steeper approach, because just imagine when I hit the ground that my collective's all the way down. So typically what people landing will do, this should be dusty over here as well, I assume. We'll kind of aim for this, we'll have to look out for that floating thing up there as well. But typically when people land, they come in and they establish their little hover, and then they get to where they want to be, and then they settle down into it. But doing this creates so much dust, and now we'll just pretend the dust goes away once you hit the ground. So what a lot of people will do... Shut up, you're fine. Daddy's got you. So what a lot of people do is a special sort of approach. It's a mix of a steep approach, but it's also a direct to pad steep approach. So we'll pretend that same place is our landing pad. And what you do, you say I'm already going to end facing this direction. You come in steeper so that way you're not close to the ground for all of that amount of time, where you're not creating dust for so long. And then you set your approach path to where you land exactly where you want to, and there's no hovering when you get down. Which I was a bit off there. Shut up! Holy crap, you're annoying. Robinsons. Good lord. Gonna yell at me again? But yeah, so like you can come in on your super nice shallow approach and hover a little bit, but then create a whole bunch of dust for everybody, but it's a lot nicer, a lot kinder to the people around you to go straight into it. Let's go bomb some buildings real quick. We'll simulate an engine failure. We'll auto-rotate successfully and land on the ground and get Elaine Musk out of my passenger seat here. And then we'll call that a night, because we've been doing this for like 3.5 hours. Pretty good New Year's stream though. If there's any questions currently, I would say ask away before it's too late, or you'll just have to wait until the next time. So to shield myself, please like the stream, please subscribe if you're not already. I do this relatively regularly now, especially since I've hit the 500 hour mark, or 500 plus subscriber mark with appropriate hours and stuff. I'm now a YouTube partner. Big me. Yeah, I just also enjoy doing this. I enjoy talking, I enjoy yapping, I enjoy exploring, and doing anything related. Are there any good roof helipads that I could try to land on? Or are they all shit helipads? What is that? This is the ugliest looking roof on a stadium I've ever seen. It's a decent looking helipad there. I wonder if that one will give us the ground effect bug. Let's try that. It's the police tower. I'm sure they love randoms landing up there. Shut up. You're not even that low. Seems to be a big enough landing pad up here to where I'm not getting affected by the ground effect bug. A lot of the smaller pads will really throw you off. Let's go. Let's head out. God. Remind me if we're over on the stream again and I'd say, hey, let's go fly the Robinson around. Stop me. Please. Unless it's the 22. The 22's fun. I enjoy the 22. The 66 is a pain in the ass. Let's get a little bit of speed. Let's over-torque our engine. Fuck it. Not my helicopter. It's a rental. And I say we pick one of these fields up here in front of us and we rotate and we shut our little happy ass down in there and call it a day. Except those fields look kind of big. I want somewhere smaller. Small place to auto-rotate. There's a little bitty one over there. I'm not sure how bumpy it is. Looks like it could be photogrammetried up into a problem. See a small circular field over there. Let's see, governor off, turn the throttle all the way down. I don't think we're going to make that field, boys. Let's do a super sketchy street here. What do you say? Can I extend this any? Not happy with that one, but we did it. That was... that one should not have been that bad. I was watching my rotor RPM there, so I was adding some collective, trying to get us more hovery forwardy, but I was losing so much rotor RPM there. But it's kind of a scary thing because you see it down here and you think you're at nothing, but you're at 70% rotor RPM. But yeah, that was a super sketch auto rotation, but we're down. No thanks to this bitch. So with that said, it's been fun. I enjoy seeing everybody, as always. But it's time for y'all to get the hell out of my house. No, hold down. Hold down. We're trying to say goodbye to everybody. Actually, no. We're gonna... So, adios to everybody. It's been fun. If you need me, I'll be here in Melbourne somewhere. And I will see you guys on the next one. When that will be, who knows? If you're subscribed and you've liked the video, it'll definitely tell you when I'm back. But if you haven't liked the video or the stream,